Hello, everyone. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. How are you today? Make sure everything's on. Hope you guys can hear me. I don't see that thing moving. There it goes. Takes a minute sometimes. That thing around my picture that usually lets me know when I'm making sure I'm talking to you guys. Well, anyway, welcome, everyone. My name is LJ Young, and I am a 100% debt-free a conscious debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them financially see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt and believes in financing everything under the sun. And what I do to help people out of the debt matrix, first, I only speak as if I'm only talking to the people that are wandering around in the debt matrix. And who are they, you might be asking? Who are the people wandering around in the debt matrix? Those are the people, doesn't matter their age, okay? Age doesn't matter when it comes to mathematics. Time doesn't matter when it comes to mathematics. Those are the people wandering around the debt matrix that know something's wrong. They're constantly confused to why they should use credit instead of paying cash. And it doesn't matter who they ask, their friends, their family members, everybody's saying use credit, but it still doesn't make sense. I'm looking for those people. Good morning, Nicer. Welcome. I'm looking for those people that are wandering around the debt matrix that just like, man, I know something's wrong, but I can't put my finger on it. I'm the answer. I'm here to help you. I'm talking to you. Yes, you. Yeah, you're probably thinking, it doesn't seem normal to keep student loans for 20 years. Yep, you're right. You're exactly right. That's not normal. That's only normal for those who keep student loans for 20 years. It's not, I don't think it's normal to pay double for a car when I finance it. That's correct. You're right. That's not normal. That's only normal for people who do that. Okay? There's always an opposite to whatever you're thinking. It's true. It's not true. All right. And there are very few of us that's going to tell you this truth, but back it up mathematically. Everything I say is mathematically true. You can check it yourself. All right. Those are the glitches in the debt matrix. The glitches are the things that don't make mathematical sense, but yet people still keep doing them. That's right. That's right. Wanderers of the debt matrix. That's true. All you got to do is just add up the math. It won't make sense. That's how you know it's not true. No, I didn't know that either when I wandered around the debt matrix for the first 40 years of my life. Good morning, Mazda 5. Good morning. That was me for the first 40 years of my life, wandering around the debt matrix, trying to figure out what's wrong. How come I was living paycheck to paycheck no matter how much money I made? That was me. When all I had to do was just do basic mathematics on my finances, and I would have been out of the debt matrix, okay? Once you get out of debt matrix, you'll realize money's not real. Time really doesn't matter. Future doesn't exist. All that stuff. You'll recognize all that. Everything. The only time that will ever matter is now, today, right now. You create your future today. You don't create your future in the future. You create your future today. That's how it works. So stop thinking about something, some kind of investment vehicle that's going to take you, that's guaranteed, that's going to guarantee your financial future. No, you guarantee it right now. You do whatever it takes to guarantee it right now, not some futuristic number. All right. Welcome, Jennifer. Welcome. Today is Q&A Sundays. Q&A Sundays is a day where anybody can come in and ask any personal finance question they wish, and I will answer it. Mathematically true. Okay. Here's the link just in case you want to join the stream. You don't have to get on camera. You can just turn the camera off. You can click on the link, come in, just be audio only, and turn your camera off. That's it. You don't have to be on camera if you're camera shy. All right. Today's Q&A Sunday was inspired by the interview with Hyphy yesterday, the collaboration with SMD family member Hyphy, right? And he had brought up during that which was an awesome, by the way, it was an awesome collaboration. Okay, that really went well. It went way, it was way better than I even expected it to be. But anyway, he brought up the topic of this today's show is social credit, right? And he brought up a good point. And I have been saying it, but I didn't really look at it that way. People really do base your success on how many views you have on your stuff, on any kind of, a picture, a podcast. It's based on views. Now, if a person were to try to capitalize, like start a business, doesn't mean all those views are going to turn into cash, right? You might get maybe 5 to 10% of those people convert to buying anything from you. So social credit is really not, business wise, it doesn't really mean anything, but it doesn't necessarily mean that a person has to buy from me. That's the one thing about my business. Yes, I need to survive and live. Of course, I have to create a business, but if I'm still changing people's lives just with my words, I'm successful. Even if they don't tell me. Like, for example, I haven't told Dave Ramsey personally that he's the one that helped change my life. I haven't bought any Dave Ramsey's products, never. I just got online, just listened to what he said, and I just followed it. That's just, I didn't need, and some people need help. Don't get me wrong. But that just wasn't me. This is why, for example, I offer a service for somebody to talk to me for 45 minutes. Maybe they don't want me all up in their business, right? But they just want to ask me some questions. So I have a person, they can schedule a time to talk to me on the phone. The people write all their questions down to ask me during that 45 minutes, and I answer them all. Oh yeah, just do this, don't do that. This is why you do this. And I justify everything I tell them mathematically. Okay. Now I'm just talking, so you guys can jump in anytime and ask questions. Okay. I'm just filling the time. But last night I was thinking this. I'm also going to start a service where people can call me or write me or something to ask about something that they might be thinking about. Somebody approached them with a deal and say, hey, you should invest in this or that, right? And to reach out to me and tell me about it, and I will let them know if it makes mathematical sense. Not to say if the person's ripping them off. I mean, you'll see by the numbers if you're going to do it or not. But people can now call me and ask me about, hey man, this person is trying to get me onto this MLM or, whatever. Right. And I will tell the person if it makes mathematical sense for them. Because finances can be intimidating to most, but that's by design. When you step outside the debt matrix, you see that the fear of taxes, the fear of money, the fear of even talking about money is by design. That's by design, people. What's up, Quentin? That's by design. If you don't know how much debt you're in, if you don't know your tax bracket, that's by design. Because there's absolutely nothing to be scared of. But don't worry. If this is you, don't worry. The majority of people are like that. I promise you. You can test everything I'm saying. You can just go out into public and ask anybody, ask any one of your friends and say, hey, do you know how much debt you're in? I bet you they won't know. Ask them, hey, do you know your tax bracket? Guaranteed they won't know. While we're waiting, I came up with something else last night that I wanted to share with you guys so you guys can understand the difference. When you hear something here's this common question I see a lot. Should I invest or pay off my student loans? Right? Let me say that one more time. You always hear this. Should I invest or pay off my student loans? Now, you must remember, most people in the world, most people not in the world, but most people with student loans believe that they'll never pay them off. They have accepted that they will be paying on them for the rest of your lives. I can't even imagine what that must be like. That's a complete and utter slave, but that's neither here nor there, right? But anyway, you come across a so-called financial investor, and they tell you, you walk in because you don't know. That's why you're coming to get their advice. But if you could see their personal credit report, it will tell you the kind of advice they're really trying to sell you, because they would be using it themselves. And if you could see their personal credit report, it would reflect that they're using the advice they're trying to sell you. I promise you. Now, usually people like that, they'll go, hey, instead of paying off your student loans, for this example, because somebody in my on my daddy page on Facebook did this example, right? Just, you guys want to go look at it, go to facebook.com/daddy and my daddy and look for it. I can't remember the title, but anyway, we were like, he was like, yeah, a person can invest and then use that money to pay off the student loan. Okay, for number one, if you're in student loan debt, you have no money to invest in anything outside of yourself. That's mathematically impossible. So let's just get that straight off the bat. That's impossible. All right. But anyway, the investor usually goes something like this. Hey, what if somebody had $50,000 in debt, and then they inherited from, the grandfather passed and left that person $50,000 inheritance, a $50,000 inheritance, right? And then he goes on to saying, like, if they take that 50, instead of paying off their student loan, they take that 50,000, invested in some kind of stock market, blockety blah, and earn 7%. And then over the time of earning 7% on the money, they could take that money and use that money to pay off the student loan debt, right? Everybody always says this. I want you guys to understand, in the money world, that's the standard scenario. You know why? Because the majority of people, there's millions of people that have student loan debt. That's why they use that scenario. Okay, because 9 times out of 10, they're going to reach somebody that has student loan debt that don't believe they can pay it off. But anyway, when they say something like that to you, I want you to say to them just like this. Okay, well, is that a guaranteed 7%? They're going to have to say no. They're going to turn to you and say, well, no, nothing is guaranteed. Okay, that's the standard answer, right? And then you come back and say, well, then what you're saying, that's a hypothetical situation, right? Then they're going to say yes. And right there, don't say this to them, okay? Or maybe if you want to, you can. This is what it sounds like when people make up hypothetical situations with money. Imagine there's something I wanted to buy and it costs $300. Okay. I have two $100 bills. Okay. That means I only have $200. So I can't buy that product. But if I go, hey, you know what? Hypothetically, if 1 + 1 equal 300, I could actually buy that product, right? Well, yeah, hypothetically, yeah. That's the same situation when they tell you hypothetical situations like that when you invest in money to pay off a student loan. So go back to the example. 50,000 minus 50,000 is 0. So if the person took if the person was in $50,000 worth of student loan debt and they inherited 50,000 and paid it right off, they would be at 0. That's not a that's not a hypothetical situation. That's a guaranteed. There's nothing hypothetical about that. See what I'm saying? You're exactly right, Nicer. Nicer says people choosing to believe in the hypothetical instead of mathematical. Well, yes, that's what they do. So if this has happened to you, and I'm sure it has happened to millions of people, millions. That's what I want you to say to them. They're gonna have to answer. They're gonna have to answer you the way I just answered you. Hey, so you mean to tell me if I invest in there and get 7%, that's not guaranteed, right? No, they're gonna say no. So it's hypothetical. Yes, you stop listening to them. Because I want you to think about the mathematical equation I just told you. That's what it sounds like when you talk about hypothetical situations with your money. Good morning, Arms. That's exactly what they said. Man, if that costs 300, hypothetically, if 100 + 100 equal 300, I could get it. Yes, doesn't that sound just like absolutely nuts? Doesn't even make any sense, right? That sounds like, well, duh, yeah. Well, of course, but it's not true. Exactly. Today's Q&A Sunday, so you guys can jump in here anytime and ask any type of personal finance question you wish. Let me put up the link to my services. Like I said, I have a service that I don't have to get all up in your business because some people don't. Hold on for a second here. What am I doing? Oh, crap. Hope that hasn't been going on the whole time. 1 second here. All right. Let me put up my services here. And it's at different levels. So if you, let me put that in there. Some people, everybody is at a different point in their financial life. And at one of my services is going to help you. I'm guaranteed I'm going to help you. It doesn't matter. I'm going to make sure when you leave, when we get off the phone or however we do this, you will mathematically understand why I gave you the answer that I gave you. Those of you that are new to my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you enjoy. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Please do not be shy of saying anything in the room. This is the SMD family, Savings Minus Debt family, is a safe zone. Okay. Nobody in here will make you feel like you're dumb for not knowing something, stupid for financing a car, stupid for believing that you can never pay off your student loans. That's dumb. Don't worry about any of that. None of that happens here. Okay. The majority of people are where you are. So if you're a person right now that's deep in debt and it feels like it's just you, this is what I want you to start doing. Okay. Every time a financial something comes over you and just takes over your mind and you feel, oh my God, it's just me. I'm so done with money. This is what I want you to take a step back. Take a step back and look at the Google total student loan debt. It's in the trillions. So you're not alone. Okay. Trillions in car loan debt. You're not alone. Trillions in what else debt? Car loan, credit card debt, student loan debt, car loan debt, all that debt. You're not alone. It's all in the trillions. Quentin says, question, why are some people so excited about getting a tax return? They must know that the government do not give out free money. They don't know. No, you're exactly right, Quentin. And in Quentin, when you see that kind of stuff, this is what's going to help you prevent yourself from going, dang, that is just, why are they doing that? Because they don't know. If they knew, they wouldn't do it. That's why people get on Facebook talking about what they're going to do with their income tax check. Because there's a few reasons why people in the debt matrix think like that. They just don't know. They believe that the government's giving them something. They've never had that much money at one time in their life. And businesses take full advantage of people that are excited about money that is theirs. They don't know that they just gave too much money to the government during the year, and the government's just giving it back to them. But the government got a free loan and made some interest off of all that money, and then they're just giving it back to them at the end of the year. They don't know that. So businesses take full advantage of people that are excited about income tax return checks. That's why people dress up in Statue of Liberty costumes on the corner. I wouldn't trust my taxes to a person that's in a Halloween costume on a street corner. Why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense. But the people that do that don't get it. That's why they fall for that gimmick. Imagine if you were on a murder trial, right? And you're looking for a lawyer and you walk into the lawyer's office and he came out of his office with a Superman outfit on talking about, hello, sir, I'm super lawyer. Would you take him serious? Would you hire him? Would you trust him that he's going to get you off this murder case? You know what I'm saying? Or wrong accusation, whatever, something serious. That's why I just said that kind of But any kind of serious case and he came out with a Superman outfit on, would you trust him? That's no difference when you see somebody on the street corner with a Statue of Liberty costume on. Those are gimmicks. When you get out of the debt matrix and you see TV commercials and you see little pretty, characters and animal and they're talking about money, you got to stop and think to yourself, why do they have a costume on? Because it's a gimmick. They're getting you to pay more attention. They're getting you to remember the gimmick instead of the product. That's how it works. That's how it works. You're right. Super lawyer. You would be like, what? Hey, yeah, I'm looking for a lawyer to get me off this case. I'm your man. I'm super lawyer. You'd be like, what? You'd walk straight out of that office. That's the same way you should treat your taxes. That's how serious, like, for example, taxes. I want you guys to understand something. It's not even an example, it's a fact. Taxes are the backbone of the whole economy. It is very crucial you understand how they work. And don't be confused at thinking that you have to understand the whole tax system. Hell, you don't really even have to understand the tax system at all. You just need to understand that it's very, very important piece of the puzzle. It is the backbone of the whole economy. When people in the debt matrix, this is another saying that people in the debt matrix always say, "Oh my God, there's no way around taxes." Yes, there is. The right way. Only people in the debt matrix believe that there's no way around taxes. Again, yes, there is. The right way. Once you figure out the right way, you will legally never pay taxes again, ever. You won't care if they rise, fall. You won't care about any of that. That will never even matter to you. Who cares? So what? Once you create your own business and create income from that business and you get people to trust you or whatever, right? It's just business. Don't be greedy. And then the taxes you pay on your business personally, whatever, you put you put those you put those prices inside the price of the product. That's all. That's it. That's how it works. So when you hear the people in the debt matrix say, "Hey, let's tax the rich. Let's do them bad. They got more money than they need anyway. We might as well just do it to them, right?" People in debt really believe if the government charges the government charges the rich more taxes, they really believe the rich are going to pay the tax. No, you're going to pay the taxes, not them. They're going to pass those taxes on to you. And guess what they're going to call it? Inflation. You're not going to know a thing. You're going to be like, oh man, it's the cost of living. It goes up. That's exactly what they want you to think. Exactly. The cost of living goes up because of you. You decided you wanted to tax the rich. So all the prices go up for you, not them. Almal says then he'd stand there with his cape flapping and fist on his hips, exactly, looking up to the sky, chin up. Imagine and now imagine the sun coming through the window as he's looking as you walking. You'd be like, "What, sir? You want how much down? Did I tell you my see what I'm saying?" Nice. Says, "I'm not trusting my freedom to someone in a costume." Yeah, and so don't ever trust your taxes. Because of somebody that don't know how to do taxes and they mess up on your taxes, you think the IRS are coming after them or are they coming after you? They're coming after you. Can you imagine how many people would get out of paying taxes if they could blame the tax preparer? Oh man, you didn't pay your taxes for the last 3 years. Hey man, it was my tax preparer. He said I didn't have to pay taxes. What if the IRS said, "Oh man, okay, my bad. Okay, we'll go after them." No, that would no. The whole system would crack. People in debt love to blame other people about their money problems. That's how it works. This is Q&A Sundays, you guys, so you guys can interrupt me anytime. This is for you guys, especially for you guys who are new to the SMD family. SMD family members, they already pretty much know what to do, but I'm not the only one to answer questions up in here. And these guys can answer questions as well. So don't think it's all on me. This today is for you guys. Cosmic Wisdom says you're you right. As a business owner, I'll just raise the prices for the consumer to pay for me. Exactly. See what I'm saying? That's how you never pay taxes again. That's how it works. There is a way around taxes, the right way. If you're out there having somebody do your taxes and they're claiming stuff that don't exist, and they're saying you can get more money if you do this, and it does, and nothing's really there and stuff like that, I'm telling you right now, they're coming after you. They're not coming after the cheat. If you have somebody doing that right now and that's doing your taxes, you better stop using them. Anybody cheating, they're doing it wrong, because you don't have to cheat. You don't have to cheat. Don't cheat and don't be greedy. That's it. That's how you do it. But you must first get out of debt to see anything that I'm saying. You cannot understand the tax system while you're in debt. That's mathematically impossible. You can't. There's a big piece of the puzzle that you're not seeing, and it's called phantom income. Any taxes you pay, any taxes you pay less than the majority is money in your pocket. I'm gonna say that one more time. Any taxes you don't pay that the majority does pay is money in your pocket. I promise you that. Let me throw my banner up there so you guys can. Like, let me give you guys another example so you guys can to understand this too, because I know a lot of people get stuck on this too. And I'm gonna give you, once I got out of the debt matrix, I no longer think about money individually. I only think about money collectively. Okay. And this is what that means. If we didn't all agree in the United States that these green pieces of paper with numbers on them hold value, they wouldn't mean a thing. It wouldn't mean it. These green pieces of paper would not mean a thing. Because if I bought something here and I was going to buy a car and I pulled out some pesos, the person would look at me like I'm nuts. What are you doing? What is that? It's money. It's pesos. Well, I'm not accepting that. See, we don't agree. That's why. But if you go to Mexico, it would make sense, right? So it's the same thing. Everything. So it's the same thing all over. It doesn't matter. Now, I want you guys to pay close attention to this, okay? Now, the majority of people, have you noticed the majority of financial advisors they hardly ever tell a person to pay off their house. They tell them to do other things before doing that. Hey, if you do this, you can get a better return on this instead of paying your student loans off and this and that. This is what I want you to think about, okay? Think about the millions of people that believe they're homeowners while having a mortgage. Think about that. Now imagine if you live on a block of 10 houses. Okay. One of those houses is yours, and you're the only person on that block with no mortgage. And the 9 other people have mortgages, yet all 10 are calling themselves homeowners. Okay. Now imagine that's your situation right now. You're the only person on your block that's a true homeowner. Now times the story that I just told you by millions of people. By millions of people with mortgages, and you don't have one. Look at that number. That number right there should tell you, pay your house off. You'll be financially ahead of millions of people that believe they're homeowners. Math doesn't care what they believe. Math doesn't care what they say. Math doesn't care what they call themselves. It doesn't matter. I just showed you How far ahead you will be if you pay your house off, you do whatever it takes. Stop investing in all that other stuff you have no idea about. You have almost full control over this type of investment. Don't worry about the economy going up and down. Don't worry about any of that nonsense. Because if somebody's giving you advice to say, hey man, don't pay off your house, this is what I want you to ask that person giving you that advice. Hey, do you have a mortgage? If they tell you yes, of course they're going to tell you to keep a mortgage because they have one. They want you to stay with the millions of other people that call themselves homeowners with mortgages. Of course they're telling you to have a mortgage. Of course. People with no mortgages don't tell if I didn't have a mortgage, I would never tell another person they should have one. I would never do that. I would say, hey man, pay your house off. Be one of the few people that are truly, truly mathematically a homeowner. You know how rare that is? That's rare. You line up a couple of paid off houses and you do it right, man, you will have those houses will start paying off themselves. Not 30 years, 7 years. And each time, and check it out, each time you pay a house off, it gets faster and faster and faster. And then at one point, you won't even need the bank's help anymore. You won't even need their help. But that's a different situation. You would still do it business-wise. On the business side of things, you would still do it. Uh-oh, we got Cosmic Wisdom. Here we go. All right, I think Cosmic. What's going on? Welcome.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
I just want your insight.
Mhm.
If the only debt that you have
Mhm.
is your mortgage, why
Me?
not invest?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, why not invest if the only debt you have is a mortgage at a conventional rate with a good term?
Because of what I'm saying. There's trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt. Trillions. Trillion. Right? If I have a paid off house, I'm financially ahead of millions of people.
But I have a mortgage, but I'm buying assets that'll pay my mortgage note now. So if my savings minus debt is way above zero, why not focus on using that money instead of paying off my primary asset?
Mm-hmm.
Use that money to buy assets that you can live off of.
Okay, so when you tell me this, when you talk the way you talk, you think you're talking about the minority or you think you're talking about the majority?
Well, I know I'm a minority, but I want
Exactly.
to live a life outside of others. And all I'm saying is if your only debt is your mortgage, and my mortgage now is under 20% of my income, I would rather get other assets to pay my mortgage.
Well, what I'm saying is this. I'm saying you're talking, first of all, you're talking from a minority standpoint and you're talking from a business standpoint. I'm talking from the majority standpoint.
See, I want the majority to be over here with me.
Right,
Because
right.
I
See,
have debt.
now on the business side, check it out, Cosmic Wisdom. On the business side, I would totally understand what you're saying because on the business side, when you're out of debt personally, and on the business side, you borrowed money is not taxed.
That is true. I don't have taxes. It's funny you saying that. I'm in the office enjoying a free cup of coffee, scanning my business receipts that I'm going to write off for taxes, listening to you talk taxes.
Mm-hmm. See what I'm
But
saying?
and I coach people too and help people out.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say debt repayment is key. But if you can clear off all of your debts, I guess it's how you spend that extra cash, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you can use your extra cash to make more cash, but if you're going to use that extra cash for consumer goods, that'll be a different opinion.
Right.
I just think the watch out is, because I thought about paying off my house, and I said, man, if I pay off my house, then I'll just have a paid off house. I can use the same money and generate money indefinitely. That's all I'm saying. It's just a little nuance. Because you can pay off debt and build cash flow to live off of. Then you're got a exponential money machine, right?
Mm.
So I was just curious on your insights.
No, that's, I mean, again, like when I talk to you, I know I'm talking to the minority, right?
Yeah.
But as a person that may have been in debt and they have a mortgage right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
The first thing I'm saying, pay off your debt first. And then when they get to that mortgage, pay your mortgage off. Pay your
Okay.
mortgage off, and then they will be the minority. And if they get to the mindset of check, and I promise you, if you get to the mindset, if you pay your house off, they will definitely cross over to your world, to the minority,
Mm. And
automatically.
nicer. I see your question. Have I done house flipping? No, I don't do house flipping because for me, I already earn enough money. When you house flip, that's taxed at ordinary income. So I want passive cash flow that's at a nice tax rate because the rent I collect is tax free. But if I
Hmm.
house flip, that's incremental income, cash that I don't need right now. So I'm buying rental properties right now. I don't need this rental income. It's just sitting. I'm using it as an extra money generator. So that's just a personal decision for me
Hmm.
based on where I am and what I want to do.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I saw that. I just feel that you can do investments and pay off the house at the same time. I think you're delaying returns you can get on investments outside. Like for
Well,
me, I
what?
have a mortgage, but I pay 25% of my payment as extra principal payments.
Well,
So if I
one is hypothetical and one is factual,
yeah,
right? So I stick when just from my perspective, and it's just my personal. I just when it comes to math. When it comes to math and money, I stay away. I stay away from hypothetical situations.
I feel you. I just can't eat.
Hmm.
I like to generate cash, something I can eat off of. While you don't have to do one or the other. You can walk and chew gum.
Correct.
And I
I
just
like.
want people to know that you can
Hmm.
walk and chew gum. You can have a plan of action for both. I
Hmm.
think a lot of people miss out on investing because nobody got rich by saving and paying off debt. It's those investments that push you into that generational wealth.
Hmm. And see,
But
and see, if I was a new person and I heard you speak like that, but I was out of debt, I would ask to see your personal credit report, and it would show me that you know what you're talking about, right?
oh yeah, you can. I mean, I have literally $22 on my credit card right now, and I
Right.
have two houses, but the mortgage balance is 128K. One makes me money that's paying
Hmm.
down the other, or
Hmm.
paying for itself and paying down the other. So
Hmm.
you just sometimes a credit, you got to look beyond the debt. But if you have to look at the types of debt too, like
Correct.
medical debt, student loan debt, car note debt, credit card debt. That is costing you money, and those assets don't appreciate. You know.
Right. And when you're
Uh,
in debt, and regardless, when you're in debt, you have no money for a house, so it doesn't matter.
exactly. You're not gonna get the best rates because the credit score usually reflects that and everything. And I don't believe in using all debt because I'm gonna flip flop. I'm gonna alternate, get a rental property with a mortgage, but I'm making sure that mortgage is low, like
Hmm.
$300, $400,
Hmm.
and then the second house I'll buy with cash. The
Hmm.
other half I'll get with a mortgage. So that is not a bad thing if you can utilize it to make more money.
Well, that's a good thing on the business side of things, not
Yeah,
personally.
personal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just
And that's why
yeah,
I always stay personally. That's why
yeah.
when you guys come on, I let Black Knight, Shell, I let you guys say your things because you guys know what you're talking about on that side.
Hmm.
I just strictly stay on the personal side.
And not yeah. I know I
Hmm.
was talking to a couple that wanted to pay
Hmm.
off their mortgage,
Hmm.
and that mortgage was about 57.
Hmm.
And I said, well, instead of paying off your mortgage, you could get two rental properties that it'll pay for your mortgage for you and still produce cash after the mortgage note is paid. So there's many ways you can attack your debt, but I would strongly suggest your mortgage should be the only debt you have before even considering. that proposal. That's all.
Yeah, and see, when I think about that, I just go by what I see. I see millions of people with mortgages call themselves homeowners. The smart move would be pay off my home, because I would be a true homeowner compared to millions of others that are not.
Yeah, I don't mind not being a homeowner. Uh, it's it's not a big deal to me personally. But I'm looking at a house as a financial mechanisms to make me more money and keep my taxes low.
Yeah, see, I've never owned a home before, so
Yeah.
I mean, free and clear.
I haven't owned a home either, free and clear, personally myself. But my goal is not to be a homeowner. My goal is to have assets that I can live off of and pay all my bills. So it depends on what you want to be,
Well,
but that's a personal insight.
I'm not personally wanting to be a homeowner
Yeah.
either, but I do want to own a home.
Yeah, not I don't believe in homeowners for everybody. Sometimes I tell people don't go into it because you're kind of shaky anyway. So I'm not one of those people that everybody should buy a home and all of that. It depends on what you want. And when in doubt, just don't buy a house. That's what I'm saying. Until you figure out what you want to do.
Well, I think personally what I would do, which is guaranteed retirement, I would own a house. That's guaranteed retirement, guaranteed.
Right. Now I do plan on paying off my house my primary house in 5 years, just to lower my monthly expenses. Then I can quit my W-2 job, and because I'll have other assets that generate money for me. But the question you have to ask is, even with a paid off house, how are you going to pay your other bills? Do you have assets to cover that?
Correct.
And that's where I am. I'm at that stage where I want to generate money to pay off all of my bills, whether my house is paid off or not. Right? So, but that's all. I just was curious about that.
I got both people on here. I want to get Shell on here because you guys I love Cosmic Wisdom and Shell, the knowledge they have. Yeah. Okay, go ahead, Shell.
So let me answer this, and then I think it would be helpful if we actually do a show dedicated to this, because people kind of need to look at it from different perspectives. So Cosmic Wisdom, let me ask you a couple questions if you don't mind.
Sure. Go ahead, shoot.
You wanna pay off your primary mortgage, right? How long have you owned it for?
2012 with a 30-year mortgage. It'll be paid off in under 15 years.
Perfect. This is the way how I would look at it, and I talked to LJ about this as well, right? If you look at your statement and you look at your payment and look at how much you're paying in interest, right? Remember, interest is the penalty for not having money, right?
Oh yeah, I know my monthly interest that it goes against.
Right. So let's a house, right, and another house to try to pay off this house, right? What your cash flow from paying all the taxes and insurance and all that, that's the extra money that you will gain to try to help pay off the first mortgage, right? So if that is substantially lower, I would focus on paying off my primary mortgage. And this is why I also want to ask you how long you've been in the house for, because obviously the longer you've been in the house, the more interest you would have already paid.
Right, but I do 25% additional principal payments. So most of my payments go towards my principal.
Okay. So if most of your payments, because that's not the case for like 90% of people, right? If you look at people's mortgage statement, they break it down, PITI, and LJ, we talked about that, which is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So taxes and insurance is straight up. You're not paying any interest on that.
I'm paying less than 10% of my payment goes towards interest now.
Okay, well, you're in good standings where you could potentially buy another house and try to pay off the first house.
Exactly.
But I do think it depends. It depends on the conversation, because if you're leaning towards buying another house, because I know you said that you don't want to have a paid off house, you want to build assets to pay all your expenses off, right?
Yep.
I mean, that's a good way to look at it. But yeah, you're in a good position in either way.
Either way, exactly. But I want to share my story because I don't think a lot of people get exposed to this concept either.
But
Right?
here's the thing, like, and again, you know, this is why I like paying off the house, because it's so guaranteed. With Mr. Trump in office, and we don't know what the future is going to be in the next couple of years, I don't know where the housing market is going to go. So if you buy another house now to try to pay off your first house, we don't know exactly how that's going to go. But we do know if you pay off your house, we know that's guaranteed.
I get you. Life is not guaranteed. I just know if I wanted to aggressively pay off my house, I'm gonna win either way. I'm either gonna have a paid off house in 2 years,
That's
or
a
get
true
two
statement.
more houses that are cash flow to pay for the mortgage.
That's a
And
true
when
statement.
I buy houses, I buy from distressed owners. Where like my last house was $55K. It's already generated $900 a month of cash flow, and the value of the house is really
Is
85.
that 900 over the mortgage?
Over the mortgage, expenses, property manager fees.
So you have a property right now that's doing 900 over all payments.
All payments net.
Oh, that's awesome. Then yeah, I mean, that is definitely, because it's so funny because people talk about these house flippers, right? But when you actually run the numbers, they're literally making like $200, $150 a month. But what they can claim is the depreciation. So when you do taxes, you get back more money because you have a depreciating asset. But
not really. It depends on the length of time. You can only depreciate if you own it over a year.
Right. But
And
that's
flippers like to sell so they can get their money and get back to zero. But house flippers is on a treadmill, and I'm in a state group. Most flippers don't have money for buy and hold, so they flip to raise money to get to buy and hold.
That's correct.
The ultimate goal in real estate is to buy and hold and collect passive cash flow.
Right.
I just skipped the house flipping because I was financially I could jump that stuff.
Right.
Get all
but
of the.
I tell you what, now, if you got a property that's giving you 900 above your payments, above everything, I mean, I would say that's more than amazing.
Exactly.
That's more than amazing.
And that was I knew
and that's just one property,
Yeah. So I'll crunch my numbers. I don't even look at a house until I know how much money it can bring me.
Right. But 900 is, I'm telling you, that's not the typical. Most
it's not typical.
No, it's not typical. Because, I mean, usually your mortgage or the rent that you try and charge someone is $1,400, and what it's costing you is like $1,200.
No, and I do affordable housing. So the rent is $1,250. My mortgage is $301.25.
Oh wow! No, that's where's that property? Where, if you don't mind?
I'm in the Midwest. I'm spoiled, but I'm from DC, born. So you see what I'm saying? So I just want people to be exposed that there is other ways to think about things. But,
yeah, I actually live in DC right now, so yeah.
Well, no thing for you. I mean, DC area, you guys can't even cash flow. You'll be lucky to break even.
Exactly. Well, that's why I paid off my house, right? Exactly. I paid off my house because of those things.
Yeah, if I was in your area, yes, I would pay off my house. But I know that there's many markets in the U.S. that you can cash flow and cash flow.
Yeah, but I mean, to say that you can get a mortgage that's going to be $300 and be able to, charge $1,200, I mean, that's incredible. I mean, that's,
Yeah, I'm in a good market.
Yeah, that's literally like a 400% profit. I mean, because it's 4 times what your mortgage is, right? So 4 times 3 is 1,200. So you're literally getting the 400% profit. Trust me, people are begging for 10 or 10 or 15%. You're getting 400. I mean, it's not close. Right.
And I work with a lot of people from the East Coast and West Coast. A woman from Pasadena, she buys a house here every month.
Okay.
Because of this cash flow spread.
Okay.
Now, that's why I'm saying, depending on your market, you may have to
Right.
run the numbers and make sense, right? But that's assuming you manage
Yeah.
finances. So
So
that
is this
was my
property
personal choice. Huh?
is this property also personally managed by you, or you have a
No,
property manager?
for that, I have a property manager.
So you're even on top of the property manager, you're making 900?
Yep.
Oh man, I mean
And
that's
it's Section 8. So Section 8 gives me a check, and so does the tenant, because there's a housing shortage of Section 8. So I already have built-in demand.
oh wow. Hey,
So
I'd love to
but
I'd
real
love to
way,
jump on the yeah, I'd just love to contact you and see if I can invest in something over there at Cosmic Wisdom.
yeah. And I go over to DC. I was over there like over Christmas. Spent about 3 weeks over there.
Okay.
Well, touring the East Coast. Starting, I work in Baltimore and then work my way down to North Carolina and loop back up every
Okay.
year.
Okay. Okay.
So
Awesome.
we'll have to link up then if you're in the DC area when the next time
Yeah.
I'm over there. I'm
Yeah,
just
for sure.
exposing you guys to the other side of debt free, right?
Right. So what I'm saying is, wherever you are and able to cash flow that much money, I mean, that's a gold mine over there.
But I
Right.
use
By the
tools,
way, when did you buy this? You said you bought this is the
I bought
property.
this house. I bought this house in July, fixed it up, and this wasn't a full gut. It was already livable. The roof was old, so I just replaced the roof, gutters. There was some old knob and tube wiring on the top floor. Got rid of the knob and tube with some new carpet and paint. So when I say that there's these houses, it's not full gut. Like you can live in there day one. I did
Right.
those expenses because those were the most expensive expenses.
And
If
you
you
bought
think
this
about
in
it,
July. You bought this in July
I
2019?
bought this in July.
Oh wow.
So sometimes, people always wait for the housing crash. And I'm like, there's deals out here right now. Why should I wait? I want my money to work right now if the deal
Awesome.
makes sense.
Awesome.
And this isn't the last house. There was a other house here that I was too late to get, but the person was back on their property taxes. So I like to
Mm,
help distressed buyers get out of a bad situation. It's a win-win. They get out, I make money.
right.
I like to help people. So
Yeah. If you
those you
if
got to a whole different side of the game. Now what I do is not typical, but
right.
I'm not the only one that does this. Like I'm an investor group, it's over 9,000 people.
What is
People
it, like a
do this
REA?
every REA. People do this every day.
Right.
So just be mindful of paying off debt if it makes sense to you.
Right. Right.
Because if I would have paid off my house, paying off a house wouldn't generate that
Any
return to
money.
get
Right.
where I am in my mortgage.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my
That's
mortgage
awesome.
is a 30-year fixed at 3.5 in 2012. Right? So why
Right.
refinance, pay off debt? That's the lowest
No,
rate
you
now.
you you would never refinance. I would never advise anyone to refinance.
I never because I've seen people, and people use me to find them deals. So I
Right.
just got somebody a house that they were delinquent on, bought it back in 95. The balance now is higher than it was back in 95 because they kept on cash out
Refinance.
finance and
Actually,
buying houses
that's
and
exactly what my
buying
mom
cars.
my mom lives in Connecticut, and she bought a house for 120, but her mortgage right now is for 240. So
Hmm. So
yeah.
that's the people that I help to get out of that situation, and usually that requires them selling and getting rid of that house because they dug themselves in too deep,
Gotcha.
right? So
Okay.
I mean, I know I'm not typical, but sometimes it's good to not too many people even get this exposure. So yes,
Right.
focus on getting debt free, medical debt, car, cell phone, whatever. But once you get to the house, potentially there could be ways where your money can work better for you. Because
Right.
if my tenant loses their job, I'll just get the HUD to cover their component. But she
Right.
pays me before HUD does. Right?
Right.
I do tenant screening and all of that too. I actually go to where they live before I allow them to move into mine. Because I said
Oh,
a lot
we need
about where people treat your house if you look at where they are now.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you can shoot me your email, I'd love to have a chat with you.
Yeah. It's different levels to the game.
Yep.
I'm on the level of having things to pay. Just pay me every month.
That sounds perfect.
All right.
All right.
Because then you're
Thanks. I
not.
just want to jump in and give my opinion. Again, for anyone listening, I do think when you look at your investment, look at especially if you own a house. Well, especially if you own a house, you subtract the mortgage payment from your interest payment. If you can find an investment that's greater than your interest payment, then go for it. But most people will not find an interest, because think about it.
Mhm.
Again, I'm gonna use practical numbers. $1,000. If your interest payment is $800, how much do you think you have to have invested in the market to overcome to get $800 per month? You'd have to have like maybe like 200,000, 250,000 to get $800 or $900.
Mhm.
So it's
And here's the point. Full disclosure: my interest on my mortgage is $242.
yeah. Again, I live in a high expensive
You
area,
do,
so
yeah.
it's different. But if you live like in the Midwest or middle of the United States, things can be much different, right? So,
Yeah. And that's why
but
I left DC, because I was
and
like, I want my money to go further. So
right,
I have a front row seat to the DC
right. Okay, cool. All right, LJ, just wanted to jump in, throw my 2 cents in, and it was
Of
a good
course.
conversation, Cosmic.
market.
Hey,
No.
and by the way, hey, Shell,
Yep.
I thought you drove a Bentley, and I saw your Toyota sign, so I
Yeah,
don't
it's
trust you no
definitely
more. I don't trust
yeah.
you no more. All right, I
I
thought you were like big
I
money maker.
I have two cars. They're both paid for. I have a Toyota and I have an Infinity. That's it. Yeah.
Nah, I'm messing with you.
Yeah. No.
All right, man. Thanks for jumping on, man. I appreciate.
Absolutely, brother.
Oh,
Okay.
all
All
right,
right, man.
appreciate it.
Take
Later.
care.
What's up,
So
Cosmic?
thanks, Linnell. I
Of
don't know. That
course.
was an awesome conversation.
Yes, it was. I was gaining all that knowledge, soaking it up.
All math based. It
Mm-hmm.
really is, Linnell. Like everything I do, I look at the numbers,
Oh,
and
I
if
know it
it's,
is. I trust you fully, Cosmic
and I,
Wisdom. You don't even have to convince me of nothing. I
yeah.
know that.
And Cheryl is right. Would I do this if I was in the DC market? Absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
But even if I'm North Carolina, South Carolina. If you're in the DC market up the East Coast, or in California or Colorado,
Mm-hmm.
this might work for you. But if you're not in those high pocket areas, could be viable if the numbers make sense. If you're buying right.
I'm telling you guys all, when I start making some money, I'm going to see Cosmic. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't need to know all that stuff. I don't even want to know it all. I'm saying, Cosmic, how much you gonna charge me? All right, here, take care of that.
I always stress self-education, because these so-called
Right.
professionals, even may not make sense. I told you about the banker who didn't know his debt number.
Mm-hmm.
I always like people to not trust me or anybody else. You can learn this. You're a computer engineer, so
Oh,
I know you know
I
math.
know. You're gonna help me skip a lot of unnecessary learning. Okay, that's how I look at it. I'm gonna learn, but you're gonna help me skip a lot of unnecessary learning.
Right. So, I mean, my goal is to just take care of these ongoing expenses, because when I leave the job market, I'm not coming back. But I also want to help others build a business, get in the game, learn some of these concepts, so they too can thrive in whatever way they feel is possible.
See, I want people to come to me before they come see you. They got to be ready to talk to you first in the right language. You know what I'm saying?
Personal finance is personal, right? Everything doesn't work for everybody, and I'm definitely aware of that. But I'm off this phone. I'm over here scanning my business receipts, getting my tax write-offs all organized. But I'll be listening and checking the chat.
You probably do that. You probably do that for fun, huh?
Well, I like it because
Right.
I forgot about stuff I paid for that's a tax write-off. I mean, and I'm still
Hmm.
going to see. So I found about $600 worth of tax savings.
I heard that. I
You know,
heard
so
that. I'll be there. I'll be there one
yeah,
day.
we will
I'm not there
all be
yet.
there.
I'm not there yet. I'll be there.
And it's a long-term game. It took years. I mean,
Mhm.
I'm just now getting to this point. So it's not like I woke up and got to this point. This was me being very aware and
What?
focused.
Wait a minute. You
Over
didn't wake up and
years.
know this? All right. All right. I knew there was a catch. You didn't wake up. You wasn't
No,
born with this knowledge. You wasn't born with
no, but I
it.
sought it out
Oh
and
man. No, I'm messing.
sought it out and sought the people that's doing it. And over time, and every day I
Mm-hmm.
learn something new. So it's every day is a process.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and day NYC, whew, no, that's an expensive market. Maybe you can go out in Jersey, deep in Jersey.
Mm.
I'm reading the expense before I hop off. I'm just trying to read
Mm.
questions for you, Linnell.
Mm. Okay. Is there some questions in there for you?
Yeah, I see.
I'll take a
Day.
look.
Day said, "Do you recommend having an LLC, then having a rental property in that business name?" Um, my personal opinion, yes. LLCs, if you're a sole owner of the LLCs, it's not going to give you as much protection as you think because it's easier to pierce the corporate veil with one owner. But another way that I do an extra layer of protection is having a high liability amount as a landlord. I do $1 million per property. So you can get the same protection via making sure you have the right insurance. Um, yeah, paid off house equals more assets. Humbled homestead,
Mm-hmm.
uh, but you can get a house and buy more assets too. So if that's your only asset you have, yeah, pay it off. But like, think about what other assets you can have. A paid off house won't feed you. You can't eat a paid off home. But if you can get assets that'll generate monthly income, depending on your financial situation,
Mm-hmm.
it may be something you can save and work towards in years timing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nicer. A whole show breaking down all the steps of home ownership would be dope. Guys, there are
Mm-hmm.
a lot of free home ownership classes that major cities offer for free. When I bought my first house when I was 22, I took a free course offered by the city. Um, oh,
Oh
thanks, Jen.
wow.
And I think so. If your finances are above zero, then your expenses aren't just debt, just expenses. Yeah. Your expenses could be cable bills, groceries.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, anything you buy is an expense, including the debt you pay off is an expense. I don't like my income to go towards debt repayment. I try to keep that as low as possible.
Mm-hmm. Because that's interest.
That is interest, and I'm on the game where I like to get interest now.
I know, right?
I
I like to get it, not pay it.
I don't pay it. I don't pay interest. I get it now. So once you're debt free, you can work on the other side of the game where you get interest versus paying it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's it.
Okay.
What has been my biggest financial and life mistake?
Uh-oh.
Um, I haven't made much. I'm blessed. I grew up with a dad who never worked for anybody. He's the type of man that he wouldn't be good in that environment anyway. So I had good examples early on in life. I don't have a lot of financial mistakes. The only regret probably I should have got a duplex and got somebody else to pay for my mortgage.
Mm,
But
mm,
I really don't have a lot of biggest financial mistakes because my parents gave me that foundational knowledge.
mm.
I have a lot of life mistakes either. I've traveled a
That's a
lot,
blessing right there. That's a blessing right there to have parents with them
traveled
financial
a lot
knowledge.
in my 20s and saw a lot of the world, still seeing a lot of the world. I'm not
Mhm.
I don't have a lot of heavy debt obligations. So Linnell, I act a fool at work. I don't go into the office. I didn't even go in the office last week.
I know you
Okay.
do.
I
I
don't
can
work
hear it in your voice. I can hear it in your voice already.
on the weekends and I'm an IT. I don't do that. And
Mhm.
that's why I'm building cash flow assets. But on the other hand, if you don't have that debt obligation and if you focus on learning your craft professionally,
Mhm.
They tolerate a lot from me that they won't tolerate from others.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to get in a position where you have really sought after skill sets. Then you won't have to take those mandates. Maybe I'll go in the office next week.
Maybe.
Maybe I'll pop up. Maybe I don't. Depends on how I feel.
You
I
sounded
work
like
from
Hyphy.
Yeah, and it is. It depends on how I feel. So my workplace is good because it gives me the flexibility. I don't have to start work at a certain time. I don't have to stay a certain time. But I do meetings and talk to others within my organization. But I set my calendar, Linnell. Sometimes I don't feel like 8 o'clock meeting in the morning. You know what I do? I say, hey, let's meet at 3. I'm going to cancel this appointment.
Nice. I love it. Gotta love it.
So, I mean, depending on what you do,
Mm-hmm.
you can do that. So, I mean, I use money as a tool
Yes.
to live my life of purpose.
That's what it is. There's nothing more than that.
To define who I am, because I do so much outside of my quote unquote day-to-day job. I like to educate people on these financial concepts and help and coach others that are a little bit in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
So, how many hours do I work per week? I don't track that. I don't track how many hours I work per week, Dre. I work. There's certain things. I'm a project manager, so I deal with deadlines and tasks. So of course, I have to make sure my deadlines and tasks that my project team is doing gets met. But I don't quantify that in hours worked, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and most of my team is not even in the U.S. So I may, depending on where in the world they are, I may work early or I may work late. But Linnell, that's why I go to the gym every day. I'll take 3 hours mid break, go to the gym, go to the grocery store, go outside, take a walk.
Self-care.
So that's
you can't do nothing. You can't do nothing with all that money if you ain't got a body to walk around Earth with.
Exactly. True wealth is health.
Mm-hmm. Money can't do nothing for you if you ain't got your health. Can't do nothing for you.
Bottom line. But that's just a little about me. But I'll get off this and let other people jump in.
All right, Cosmic.
I'm going back to my business receipts.
All right, Cosmic. Always a pleasure. You and Shell, man. Much appreciated with your knowledge. Much appreciated.
Sure. Have a good one, guys.
All right, you guys. I mean, all right, Cosmic. Right. All right. We back. See, that's why I love this channel. I love Q&A Sundays, man. I love knowledgeable people jumping on there because they have, to me, let me tell you guys, to me, I look at Shell and Cosmic as people with knowledge on the other side of zero. Okay. The north side of zero. All right. That's why, like I said, I just deal with personal finances only, right? I have no money to invest in any kind of housing, buying houses and flipping and all that stuff. So I really don't even bother to even know about that stuff yet because I have no money to do it anyway. So it really doesn't, I don't put it in my mind until I have the money, right? But again, personally, right? I look at money as a whole. A paid off house is guaranteed. There is no other investment that guarantees more than a paid off house. It doesn't matter what the president says. It doesn't matter if the economy is up and down with all that other stuff. It just doesn't matter with a paid off house. If you're debt free with a paid off house, you wouldn't care about the economy crash. It wouldn't even matter to you. Economy drops, all the houses drop, people go into foreclosure. Guess what else goes down? Your taxes. A paid off house with lower taxes and a bad economy, you good. And trust me, if you got a paid off house, you somewhat understand money. It takes a very knowledgeable person with money to have a paid off house. How do I know this? There's trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt. That's how I know this. There are millions of people that call themselves homeowners. Millions. And math can show them, hey, you're not really a homeowner. Why are you saying that? Because that's what they've been conditioned to believe. Imagine yourself being a true homeowner. True. Like real. Math agrees with you. That type of homeowner. Okay. Best version says Dave Ramsey. Oh, okay. I think I answered. Yeah. I I understand, like I take, for example, Dave Ramsey got me out of debt. If I didn't know about that, I would have, would have never known anything. Right. But I don't really agree with everything he says. Hey, do this, do that, save for this, save, invest. I just go with what I see. And anything outside of what I see is hypothetical. And math is never hypothetical. Math says if you have a paid off house, that's guaranteed retirement. That's guaranteed money. That's guaranteed. Only God can make more land. Best version says if you're renting, you have to pay for where you live. Yes. Rent. I mean, people always go, hey, man, if you're renting, you're throwing away money. I don't think I'm throwing away money. I have a roof over my head. Unless somebody can tell me where I can live for free, I'll be glad to listen. But other than that, if I put it this way, if I don't have money to buy a house, I don't really have any choice but to rent. The people in the debt matrix really believe they have a choice buying versus renting. You're in debt. You don't have no choice but to rent. Who you choose to rent from is totally up to you. If you choose to rent from a landlord or you choose to rent from the bank, it's totally up to you. You're renting. Period. James Stokes says, my friend has 2 more payments on her house. Bank all over calling her to refinance. She told them hell to the no. Of course, they're trying to keep her in the loop. 2 more payments. Tell her I said, congratulations, man. Congratulations. I'll get there. I'm paying my house off. When I get my house, that's the first thing I'm doing. I'm paying it off. I'm not investing anything. I'm 50. I'm paying my house off. Good morning, Day. Just now seeing you. Well, I was on the talk here. Silent Ray says, so personal debt equal bad debt, business debt equal good debt, but only if all out of personal debt. Don't, Silent Rays, try not to put feelings when it comes to money. Good, bad. Debt is just debt. Okay. There's no good debt. There's no bad debt. Debt is just debt, right? All I'm saying is this. It is okay to use the tool of debt on the business side because of the tax savings, right? You get tax savings, plus you don't get taxed on borrowed money. This matters when you're debt free and you start to get up there in the tax bracket. Once you get higher in the tax brackets, you start to take notice of the purpose of taxes and understanding taxes. You'll be like, oh man, if I use my money, if I'm on the other side of debt in business, and I have $100,000, that means, and I want to buy a house with that $100,000. Well, it's not really $100,000 because it's been taxed. So it's really, 90,000 or whatever the taxes are, right? So I have to come up with 10 more thousand to buy the house in actuality, right? But if I borrow that, it's not taxed. Yes, I'm paying a percentage rate, but it would my taxes be more than the percentage rate? It's a big, I'm not even over there, but I kind of understand how it works. But right now, personally, that's what I'm saying. I just go by what I see. Again, I just go back to the factual numbers, no hypothetical anything. I see what I see. There's trillions of dollars in mortgage loan debt, millions of people calling themselves homeowners. Do the opposite of the majority. That's how I think about money. I do everything the opposite of majority. If the majority of people are in mortgage loan debt, I do not get in mortgage loan debt. Trillions in student loan debt, I pay off my student loan. Trillions in credit card debt, pay off my credit card. Trillions in car loan debt, never, ever in a million years finance a car. That's definitely for cosmic wisdom right there. Humble homestead, paid off house equals more assets. Yeah, I agree with you, Nicer there. She breaking down the whole steps. I love it. I love when Cosmic gets on. I knew that Shell Cosmic Wisdom combo would be an awesome collaboration right there for those few seconds, for those few minutes. So if your finances are above zero, then your expenses aren't debt. They're expenses. Yep, that is very true. I'm looking at myself. All right. Best version says, LJ, I can understand that. However, his strategy is time tested and proven, but he adjusts depending on a person's circumstances. Yeah, it's always everything. Everybody is individual. And I 100% I agree with you. his strategy works broadly. You know what I'm saying? Each person's situation is different. You know, if somebody's like, say like somebody has a, say like they have no debt and their only mortgage is, they only have a mortgage and they're $200,000 in mortgage loan debt. And they say, hey man, I'm thinking about investing outside of what I have, or, you know, whatever. Right now I'm thinking about investing. Only debt I have is my mortgage. So I would go like this. Okay, you're $200,000 in the hole. All right. Whatever you have in savings minus the $200,000 mortgage is how much you have to invest mathematically outside yourself. Now, if you know that, choosing to know that, and you go into knowing that, okay, cool, you know, whatever, go do your thing. But people, you know, what people tend to forget is that they'll take the money and invest in outside of something else, and then they say, hey, I'm getting this interest rate, I'm getting that interest rate on this investment property. I'm like, oh no, you got to minus the interest that you're paying on your house. So the interest you're making minus the interest you're paying on your house is how much the real interest you're making. You know, you can't forget about what you're paying on your house, but people always tend to forget that. So Best Version says, investing is not a bad thing. We should strive to have multiple streams of income to set up and leave a legacy of wealth. Oh yeah, multiple streams is awesome, you know. But Best Version, I'm gonna tell you this, because you and I are on the same level when we talk about the universe. But this is one thing I've learned. Okay, nothing outside of me is gonna make money faster than me. No investment in the world is gonna make more money faster than myself. Right now, currently, I am the only person I'm investing in right at this moment. I'm not investing in any property. Nothing outside of myself is going to make money faster than me. So once that happens, and then I'm like, oh, okay, it'll be beneficial for me to invest outside of myself because of tax purposes. That's exactly when I'll do it. Let me see here. So what I've done, Best Version. So this is how I look at it. When I first started, right, the first thing I think about is making money, right? That's the natural business. Oh, I need to make some money. Once you take money off the table. So I had to figure out my gift, and my gift is this. My gift is personal finances, money. And how I know it's my gift, because everything I say, everything I say, I 100% can prove mathematically true. Okay. That's how I know it's my gift. Once I took money off the table and concentrated on my gift, then I build my business around my gift. Because I promise you this, especially if you go into a business like this, you have to earn people's trust first. If people don't trust you, they're not buying anything from you. I don't care how good your product is. All right. So I had to learn how to get people to trust me first. First, I had to live what I teach. I don't just say, hey, you should do this, and then they turn around, hey, have you done it? No, I haven't done it, but I'm telling you to do it. That doesn't even make any sense, right? So I've done things that most haven't done. Quit your job. The majority of people have never, ever done that. Not saying you have to. I'm just saying, if you've never taken a year off of work, I suggest you do. Figure out how to do it. It'll change your life. I will never go back to the way I was thinking before I stopped working for a year. A year is what broke me. It took me a year to break the 40-hour work week. It made me question everything. Hey, who came up with 40 hours a week? Who came up with weekends off? Who says a lunchtime is an hour? And the answer is obvious: the wealthy people. People that understand that money is a tool. People that understand that there's only two classes. There's the debt class and there's the non-debt class. And the people in the debt class don't count. They don't even know they don't count. Day says, I love her attitude. I can hear the joy and peace of her mind. Can't you, Day? It's so easy. Isn't it? You can hear it. You can hear peace. You can hear Cosmic or Shell. They're not faking it. They're not pretending. You know what I'm saying? It cannot be faked. BK from the Rocky says, truth. With great health, you will have time to build great wealth. Exactly. You can't, people, and there's a lot of people out there that believe money is everything, and then they let their health go, and then they become immobilized, and then they can't even walk this earth. You need this body to walk the earth to enjoy money. You need the body to do it, right? And if you ain't got no health, you're laying up in a bed, and you got millions of dollars in the bank. What you gonna do? Money can't do nothing for you at that time. Stormtrooper Supreme says, are you planning to buy a house with cash? Yeah. But I'm not going to buy. Remember, when you're debt free, housing market prices no longer matter to you. As long as there are millions of people that believe they're homeowners while having a mortgage, as long as there's people with VA mortgages, as long as there are people with FHA mortgages, as long as there are people with all kind of subprime mortgages. First of all, no mortgage in the world makes anybody a homeowner, let alone a subprime mortgage, especially. So there's going to be plenty of tax liens, foreclosures. I might even just wait for the next economy crash. That's when you can get three houses for the price of one. Low taxes, foreclosures, man, you're going to clean house, and then you just sit on them. Just sit on them. There's another crash coming soon. It's coming. You can just see it. How can I know this? There's trillions of dollars in everything right now. That's how I see it. Nonstop Dre says, what does refinancing a house do, and why do most people do it? Those people are in debt. Most people believe, let me tell you like this, Nonstop Dre. Think of this way, all right? And I always give you answers mathematically. Listen, the majority of people, first of all, the majority of people with mortgages, they already believe the house is theirs with the mortgage. It doesn't even make any sense. They logically understand that they could not have bought the house without the bank's help. I mean, they know that. They sat in the bank, signed out all these 30,000 papers, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here, sign here, initial here, right? Without a lawyer or anything, right? 400,000. They would never do that with a business. Would you buy a $400,000 business without a lawyer? But people do it every day with houses, because they take a house personally when it's strictly business for the bank. All right. So when they refinance the house to get the so-called equity that is theirs, they believe the equity in that. They believe the equity in a house is theirs, even though they don't own the house. It doesn't even make any sense. But hey, whatever they believe, math doesn't care. And so they believe if they refinance the house, they're going to pay off their cars, which the bank owns, and their credit cards, which the banks also own. So in their minds, they believe they're going to take the bank's money and pay off the bank's cars and the bank's credit cards. And then after those things are paid off, they believe at the end of the month, they have more money. It doesn't even make any kind of mathematical sense. And they're, say like they were in their house for 10 years in a 30-year mortgage. Now they just started that clock over back to 30 years, and they think they're saving money at the end of the month. All they have to do is sit down and do the mathematics. They'd be like, oh, I'm not saving anything. Correct. You're deeper in debt. When they refinance their house, Nonstop Dre, they are deeper. They are even deeper in debt than before, but they walk out believing they have more money at the end of the month. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, imagine how many people out there that are refinancing their houses under subprime mortgages. Oh, it's endless. And put it this way, Nonstop Dre, if the banks denied mortgages to those people who are in debt, if the banks denied those people who are in student loan debt, the whole housing market would crash. Refinancing your house means you get a new mortgage with the amount you cashed out. Sure do. Brand new, fresh new mortgage. Yeah. And then people think they think they're going to pay off the bank's cars with the bank's money and the bank's credit cards with the bank's money. That doesn't even make any mathematical sense whatsoever. I would never you cash out to buy cars and trips. People do that all the time, Cosmic Wisdom. They'll refinance their house to go on vacation and go finance a new car. They'll refinance their house, right? Take some of that, because people in debt will never do this. So say like this. Say like somebody could refinance their house and pull out $30,000 cash, and there's a new car that they want that costs $30,000. A person in debt would never take that whole $30,000 and put down on there and buy the car. They would never do that. They would put a large down payment on the car and make payments. That's what they would do. You know, the smart thing a person would do if they were like, say like somebody was in $50,000 worth of student loan debt, right? And here comes a economic crash coming right now, right? The smart thing to do would be refinance their house and pay off their student loans. Forget what everybody else says. Pay off your student loans, and then say like the economy crashed and that person lost their job, their house, and everything. Guess what else they lose? Their student loans. Student loans are the cockroaches of the economy. They survive anything, any economic crash. Student loans survive. Let's see. Quentin says, I have zero debt besides my basic monthly expense. I want a house one day, but I really don't want to get slammed down with a mortgage. Well, you're young, Quentin. You got time on your side, man. This is all I'm saying. Just do this, right? Because of my age, this is how I would purchase a house. Honestly, I would create a business, put that house under the business, create an LLC, put that house under the LLC, put that in because I'm debt free, so I could do this. And I would buy the house, put it under LLC, get a renter in there, make sure it's classified as a rental under the IRS, make sure the IRS view it as a rental, and when the renter pays, I would have none of that money coming to me. It would go back into the house because I don't want it. I want it taxed that way. I don't want it taxed as ordinary income, right? And then I'll get appreciation and depreciation. And then from the book I read from Robert Kiyosaki, you could even write off taxes on the income taxes that you pay with your regular job. That house will be paid off in 7 years. And me personally, I just get hives thinking about tying myself to an object for any amount of years, let alone 30 years. I don't know. Something about that just bugs me. I don't like signing on the dotted line and knowing that I'm responsible for this object for this amount of money for this amount of years. I don't know, man. It just bothers me. Yeah. Hey, Day, when an economy crash happens, that's Christmas time. That'll be Christmas time for you. So say like it wasn't another 3 to 4 years, right? And you stack all your dough for 3 or 4 years and the economy crashes. It will be Christmas time for you. You can't tell anybody because they'll think you're mean and evil and you're mean for hoping for an economy crash to happen. You can't say anything to anybody. You just got to be quiet. You got to play along. Oh my God, this economy crash is horrible. Oh man, people are losing their jobs, this and that, and blah blah blah. You just got to play along. Hold up, Gabriel. I'll see you. What's up, Gabriel? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, I see your thing moving, but I can't hear you. Oh, wait, just a second. I'm sorry.
You can't hear?
That's me. All right, go ahead.
Oh no, no. I just want to say about the housing that you guys were talking about. Do you really think it's better to rent first for like a young age than to attempt to get any mortgages or buy any house?
Put it this way, Gabriel. Add up all your savings. Add up all your debt. Now you tell me, are you ready for a house?
No.
Okay,
no.
then done. See how easy I just did that? Does it matter that you're 19?
Oh no, of course not.
See what I'm saying? So that's when you're ready for a house, just go, my savings minus debt equals how much money I have for a house. That's it. See how easy I did that?
Yeah.
I took all the complexity out of it, didn't I? It's gone. It's now you're like, oh crap, I can't afford a house. Exactly. So I have no choice but to rent. I have no choice. Only people in debt believe they have a choice.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I want to ask you, what would be a good tip for like investing for beginners?
You talking about outside yourself?
Yeah.
This what I suggest. So you can, before you invest outside of yourself, this is what I suggest you do. Okay. I suggest
Hmm.
you invest with yourself with a regular job first, because you need to start
Okay.
understanding how taxes work. So you find out if your job have a 401k or a
Yeah,
health.
my does
They
have
do.
a for one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to start investing in your 401k, not because of for the retirement, for the tax savings. All right.
Okay.
And so, for example, let me give you an example. Okay. This year, you can max out your 401k of $19,500. Okay. You hear me?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You don't have to put that much in. I'm just saying that's the max
Yeah.
you can put in there. All right. Don't worry about the max. Okay. I'm just saying that's the maximum. So if you could max that out, you also get to take $19,500 off of your annual income. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So this is what I want you to do. This is what I want you to do. Now, say like you decided you want to put $1,000 into your 401k this year. Okay.
Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Now I want you to go around to 10. It doesn't matter. Family, friends, whatever. It doesn't matter. I want you to ask them, hey man, how much did you put in your 401k this year? Every one of them will say nothing. Oh, my job, or they'll say my job does it. Okay, they'll say something like
Oh.
that, or they'll say, "Oh, I'm maxing out the match." This is the common answer for people in debt. Oh, I'm maxing out the match by 3%, 6%. You say, "No, no, no. I'm not talking about the match. I'm talking about how much money did you put in there this year yourself." None of them will give you an answer. That's how you know you're doing it right. None of those people will be able to take $1,000 off of their annual taxable income, but you will be able to.
Yeah.
You do
Yeah.
everything the opposite of the majority, and it's guaranteed money.
Yeah, like also that I was reading about, like compound interest,
Mhm,
like about that, and that like if you invest in real estate,
mhm.
it'll take you like 4.5 years to double whatever you're selling.
Who told you
And if
that?
you're doing the bank,
Who told you that?
uh, I read it online.
See what I'm saying? You're talking about hypothetical situations. Do you have any money
Okay.
for that? Do you have any money for real estate right now?
Well, no, no. Of course, I don't have any money. I'm just saying, I just as a concept. I'm just
Mhm,
saying, like, of course, I don't have money as of right now.
mhm.
But I'm just saying that, like, compound interest, that type of investment, it takes time to build wealth. So,
This is what I'm gonna say to you at 19. Okay, try
uh
your
huh.
best to stay away from hypothetical situations.
What do you mean?
When you say, "Hey, compound interest, if I do this, I put 1,000 in there and it compounds and I'll have 50,000 over 20 years." Oh, yeah, I guess that's a possibility. I can make up anything and say that. I can
Hmm.
make a Be
That's
careful of
true.
people coming up with hypothetical situations, because I can say like this, "Oh, well, if something costs $300 and I have two $100 bills, if 100 plus 100 equal 300, I could get that $300 item." Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess you're right.
Oh,
But it sounds crazy to say that because it's a hypothetical situation.
yeah. Uh, yeah, I could see that.
And then you gotta when somebody tells you that, Gabriel, you gotta
Hmm.
remember who is saying that to you. Is it a
That's
person?
true.
Is it a person in debt talking about compound interest? If they're in debt, they have no idea what compound interest even means, because
That's true.
they're getting compounded and they don't even know it.
uh, well, yeah, yeah. Well, it's like what they do with credit cards. Like when they, like they'll always ask that, cash back this, and we'll like when you sign up for a credit card, like they'll give you
Mhm,
a credit card, stuff like that. Like tricking people. Like I always put it this way: if they're giving you something for a deal or anything,
mhm.
no company, they're not gonna give you. They wanna make a profit out of you. Like you understand me? So that's why like stuff like that. Yeah, I know, but you made me kind of question like about stuff like that. Like who's telling me about this? Like
Mhm.
why is this good?
Well, when you get your when you When you create your own business, you pay attention to how the credit card companies are
Hmm.
doing it. Because what they're saying
Yeah.
doesn't, when you're out of the debt matrix, none of that makes any sense. Hey, cash
Yeah.
back. You say cash back from where? Who's giving me cash back? Well, cash back from what? But nobody
Yeah.
questions that. Oh, I got this card. I'm getting this credit card for cash back. Nobody ever questions cash back from who? Who's giving you money? If you created a business and gave away everything in your business, you wouldn't be in business, right?
Yeah.
How long would you be in business if you opened a business and gave away your product to everybody?
You be how?
You won't have a business. So they're not giving
the-
anything. So they say things. This is the real trick, Gabriel. They make people in debt believe they're getting something for free.
Yeah,
That's how
exactly.
you sell. That's how you
Yeah.
sell.
But I always wonder how do they get the people easily? I don't know. It just never come to mind when it came to like stuff like that.
Because it's
Like I don't.
generational.
It's generational.
Yes, you see how like right now at 19, you see how your family's trying to cram credit down your throat?
Uh, well, not anymore, of course. But yeah, they did.
They do. Oh, it's not going to stop. You think it's not going to stop.
Yeah.
You're just not going to hear it anymore. And that's the difference. Even if they
Oh,
say it, you're not going to really even pay attention to it anymore. Hey, Gabriel, you need to go finance this jacket. You're going to be like, yeah, okay, whatever.
damn.
Right? So you're not even going to hear them anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
It all counts.
Well,
So anybody that gives me financial advice, I always turn around and say, hey, who's telling me that? Who's saying that? Let me see your personal credit
yeah,
report and I'll believe every word you're saying.
yeah. There's a lot of people like, especially on YouTube, that like, like people think, oh, because they have this much subscribers and they show off their wealth, and people think like they're wealthy, but most likely they're not wealthy. They're just showing off. They must be heavily in debt.
Well, that's why I titled this one called Social Credit. People look
Social
at
credit, yeah.
people look at views and they believe, oh, this person must know what they're talking about. Look at all of
Hmm.
his views. I'm like a big American Greed watcher. I love that show, American Greed.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know. Sure.
I absolutely love that show because I watch these people that scam all these people $1 million, millions of dollars, and they don't even be doing anything fancy. The scammers just make people believe that they're going to get something that's unbelievable, and then they just fall
Yeah.
for it. That's it. It's nothing special.
I have no problem with that because it's business, and like
No, that's
people.
that's stealing. All right, I'm not.
Well,
That's
yeah, like that. But I mean, like what they do it when it comes to like
right.
credit cards, and when it comes to houses and cars, financing cars.
Mhm. It's business. It's if it's
Oh,
legal,
that
it's
part,
cool.
yeah, that part is business. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. And they like say,
Uh,
like, for example, they say, oh man, these student loans are ripping people off. They should have told us something. No, you just do the
um,
mathematics and you can just get out of it. They didn't trick me. They didn't, when I got my student loan and kept it for 10 years, Gabriel, the student loan people
mhm.
didn't trick me. They didn't say, hey, Linnell, when you sign up for this college, you're going to keep the loan for 10 years. They didn't say that to me. I decided that with myself.
Yeah.
So I said, you know
You see
what? I'm
people.
tired of paying the student loans for 10 years. That doesn't make sense to go to college for 4 years and pay for it for 10. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And people online, like they tend to, oh, I'm not gonna pay my student loan there. Like I go on Twitter and people be like, oh, I'm not gonna pay my student loan because the government is just gonna pay for me.
Mhm.
Like the government is gonna pay for me, and I'm like, the government's not gonna pay for you. First of all, the government didn't the government give it back to you first? Why would they pay? Why would they just pay off that money?
Mhm.
Like doesn't even make sense.
Well,
So
people forget this. The government is us. Stop. That's all
yeah,
part of,
no,
that's all part of
yeah,
the
no, that's
condition.
true.
That's all part of the
Yeah, that's
condition.
dumb. Like when people used to say taxes are theft and stuff like that, which is, I just never. That's dumb. Like I know, and yeah, the government people, oh, the big bad government. But I'm like, well, are you like people postal workers? People working like
Mhm.
stuff like that. That's government.
Mhm.
Like it's like they think like, oh, that the government and taxes are the problems.
Mhm.
That's what people. There's also people like I know that believe that, and I'm like,
Of course.
no. If you just look at how much debt you're in and what how much you're spending and how much you're saving, you really look. It's like personal when
Mm.
it comes to finances.
Well, you got to remember that's all on a bigger scheme, bigger thing, bigger plateau of everything. That's all part of the conditioning, Gabriel. People are made to
Hmm.
believe that the government is some separate entity, right? For example,
Exactly.
it's
I
like
don't.
this. When people say that, this is what I say. everybody has a family member that works for the government in some sort of fashion, okay? Whatever that is. I say to them, hey, when your family member comes home, do you start yelling at them about the student loan problems? You should start yelling at them. Say, hey, man, it's your fault. You know, it's your fault that I have these student loans. You know, that seems idiotic.
Yeah.
So the government is us. We are the government. Taxes
Yeah,
are
that's true.
necessary because everybody would. If you couldn't go to prison for taxes, nobody would participate in paying them. See what I'm saying?
That. It sounds like
Yeah,
simple.
that's
Like
tax
it sounds like,
evasion.
yeah. Nobody could legally not pay taxes. That's illegal. But people think like,
No,
oh,
if you didn't
taxes.
go to prison, people wouldn't pay it. If the penalty was in prison, nobody would participate in paying
Oh, of
taxes.
course not.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Well, because taxes do, like, if you want to talk about taxes, do need to be implemented, because people, they need like stuff like roads and stuff for that. But like, yeah, you're right. If taxes, like, if you didn't pay taxes and you didn't go to prison, then nobody will pay taxes.
Nobody would pay taxes, and nobody would
Yes.
participate. So in order for this whole system to work, because it's the backbone of the whole system. I see you, Johnny Blaze. I see you. If it wasn't in place, it's the backbone of the whole economy. The whole economy would crash if they let everybody get away with not participating.
Yeah, that's true.
Hmm. You're asking the right questions, man. Because at 19, I didn't even know to even talk to anybody like me at 19. I
Yeah.
promise. I was just driving cars and girls. That's all I was thinking about. Cars and girls.
Well, yeah, you can still have that teenager mindset, but like, you always have to look like, you don't have to like do really what a lot of people are doing. Like financing cars, financing phones, stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, at 19, man, you do a debt-free, man, you will have a wonderful, wonderful young child, young adult life. Your whole life will be just totally, you'll still be able to do all the 19-year-old things, early 20s, go party, have fun, do your thing, man. But just do it debt-free, man. You'll have double the fun
yeah,
I had.
yeah, just people really think like, oh, like the government's always gonna like they're gonna help them, and people just don't know, like, you have to help your own self first
They're just
before
doing
anything like
they're
that.
just doing that to get votes because they know millions of people are in student loan
Exactly.
debt, and they say, "Hey, vote for me.
Exactly.
I'm gonna try to get student loan
Yeah.
debt." No, you're not. No, you're
Yeah.
not. They'll never release that many of their
They're
slaves.
never.
That'll never
Yeah.
happen.
Let's put it this way. Remember when the government shut down
Hmm.
and people were not getting paid for like a month?
Hmm. Hmm.
I was like, you're working for free.
Yes, those are slaves. Slaves work for free.
Why will you be working for? Why will you be working for a month? Like, okay, you could get any job,
Hmm.
but why will you be working for free for a month?
Hey, Gabriel, this is what you sound like to a slave. Wong 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 wong. That's what you sound like to them.
That's
That's why they're working
that
for
that
free.
was that was incredible.
That was
Like,
incredible.
I was like,
That blew me away when I saw that. I was like, that is slavery to the fullest, right in your face.
oh my god. Like, I was like going to my mom, like, mom, they're working for free for a month.
Hmm.
Like, I don't even know that feeling, just working for a month for free and not getting anything. Like, it's actually a slave.
Do you
And
see
it's
how,
true what you
hey,
say.
Gabriel, do you see how they did it right in their face too? They did it right in their face. They said, hey, we're not going to pay you until we figure out whatever it is, we figure it out. And guess what, slaves?
Yeah.
You're going to work for free, slaves. And guess what they did? They
Um,
did it.
yeah, they did it. So like, when you say about that slaves are still alive, that's 100% true.
It is
Because
true.
I'll never work for even a week without pay.
No, I
Let
would
alone
quit. If I worked
I
for
want
the if I worked for the TSA and they walked in and said, "Hey, yeah, by the way, you guys ain't gonna get paid for a month," I say, "Okay, thank you for telling me. I quit.
I quit.
I'm not working
Plain and
for free."
simple, but people. That's why people are in debt. People are in debt because you wouldn't be doing that if you were debt free. You wouldn't be in
Exactly.
that job.
You would not
If you were
accept that
debt free.
if you were debt free. You would not accept that. You'd be like, "What?" You mean I'm gonna spend my gas? I'm gonna continue to make car payments. I still got to make my light payment, and you're telling me I got to get up every day and come here for free? I'm not. I quit.
Yeah, that's crazy. You know, I don't know that feeling. That must be horrible, but
Don't ever have that feeling, Johnny Blaze.
yeah.
That's why you're listening now. You will never know what that's like ever. You will never. You stay debt free. You'll never know what that's like. Hey, Johnny Blaze, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
How you doing, man? You can jump on in here.
Not too bad.
What's up, man?
Hey,
Go ahead.
I had two quick comments.
Mhm.
Well, one, I was looking at trying to get a home security system in Boston. I just bought a new house and had the person come out here and do the survey. And, you know, they ran the numbers up, how much it's going to cost. I'm like, okay, well, I had to get a home repair done. I said, tell you what, thank you for the numbers, but I've got to get this home repair done first. So let me go ahead and get that, find how much it's going to cost me. Then I'll get back to you. The next thing I know, this person started pushing all kind of financing terms, and you can get it for this, that. I'm like, no, I don't finance anything.
No.
I got the home repair. I got to pay for that.
Gabriel. Soak it up. I want you to listen. Leave your ears open, Gabriel. I want you to hear this stuff. Go ahead, Johnny. I'm sorry.
I mean, this lady, she ran, hey, we can do 12 months, no interest. We can do 15 months. We can get the payments. I'm like, the payments are not the issue. Once again, this home repair, I need to do this first. Do you not understand? This is priority.
They don't care. They don't care. They
don't care.
Money. It's not about you. It's about that money.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely.
That's when you say. I say, like, now I've been debt free so long. I always say a firm no, so they don't misunderstand me. Like because if you give a sort of kind of no, they're like, well, sir, you know, if you do this, if you just say, I said no.
Yes, exactly.
That's not rude though.
This woman has called me every week. For like every 3 days for the past 2 weeks.
Ooh, I wouldn't allow that. That would be none of that.
Okay.
Yeah, it'd be none of that.
I said, look, once I get this thing, you know, I will get back to you. And I mean, because I do want the system, but right now I have other priorities.
Of course. Yeah, but like I'm saying, you know, you got your own list of what you're gonna do. They don't care about your list; they care about their list.
Absolutely. Hey, El, just gonna ask you, man. Have you heard about the UBI?
No, I don't know what that is. What is that?
Universal Basic Income.
No.
Okay.
You never heard about that?
No. What is that? What is that? No. What is that?
Well, yeah. So
you can explain.
I was gonna. It's more so. It's like some. I won't say it's welfare, but you know, as more and more jobs become automated and as things transition away from the country, they're looking at a means of sustaining people. And the universal basic income is one of the solutions that they're looking at. But it's not just here in the United States. I think some countries in Europe have already begun to experiment with it.
What have you heard about it, Gabriel?
Well, it's about automation, and then it's like a presidential candidate, I forgot his name, who kept bringing that up, and it's kind of true. But people will be like, oh, but if you implement that, wouldn't they take away Social Security and stuff like that? And it's like $1,000 a month because, you know, automation is, you know, is gonna kill jobs in the future and stuff like that.
I gotta read. I don't know enough about that to speak on. I gotta read about it, but I thank you guys for bringing that up. You know, I'm all about that. I'm gonna read all about that. I want to see what. I want to see what that really means.
Yeah, I think there's a town out in California. I think that's experimenting with it now. It's a little smaller area, and they're attempting it. But like he was saying, it's about $1,000. It's not designed to It's not designed to fully take care of you. It's more like a supplement of
exactly.
sorts.
Yeah.
It's $1,000 that they're going to be given to people.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, I never heard about that. You know, when I hear things like that, it's just another thing of control to get you dependent on the government. That's all. I mean, I don't even know about it. I just by what you guys are telling me, that's what it sounds like to me. What about Social Security? You know, Social Security is going to run out. You better jump on this UBI, and then all of a sudden, I don't know what we lost. What's the name? But I don't know about this UBI. Then that's another thing to get people hooked on them.
Well, I put it this way: if you're very good with money, you really don't need a Social Security. You really don't need to depend on the Social Security in the future because you just have money for retirement.
Right. See how now I want you to listen how simple you just said that, Gabriel. You see how simple you said that? That's how simple.
Exactly.
That's exactly how simple it is. Just stay out of debt. And you won't even. I don't think about Social Security and if there's going to
Yeah.
be enough for me. I don't even think about that. Hey man, you know how much Social Security is going to be left? No. Why? Who
Yeah.
cares?
Who cares?
Who cares? I don't care.
If you
That's
have
not my
money saved up and for retirement, like how you said, like buying the house and stuff like that, why would you care about getting Social Security? That doesn't even like. Who cares if you have money for it? Why would you want like that? Like that just doesn't make
always.
sense either way. I understand what people have like Social Security and stuff like that, but I just don't understand like, oh, what happens if it loses? Oh, it's like the world's gonna end. Like, how are we
Well,
gonna
see,
retire?
let me say
That depends on
let me
you.
say to this. Okay, think about. I want you guys. I always think of collectively in the bigger picture. Now, if you watch the news, you would swear that only the reason why people are homeless is because of drugs, right? You think, oh, they must be drug addicts. That's why they're homeless. No, I guarantee if you go talk to most of those homeless people, guarantee you
They have college degrees.
they got college degrees. People think they're bums. They're not doing anything. They don't have any money because of this. I guarantee you, it was because of they were in debt all of their lives and didn't save a dime, and now they're on the street because of believing the credit world and believing all this. Of course, there's other circumstances, okay, but I guarantee you, the majority of them financial problems. Guaranteed.
Yeah, that's true.
Hey,
Yeah.
LJ, you ever notice though, folks who always want to give you the most financial advice typically are the ones who are like broke. I have a lot of family members who like to try this.
Yes.
Always want to tell me how to navigate my money, but then I look at their situation. Me and my aunt were having a conversation about things that she and her husband are doing, but I'm like, she's got like 6 credit cards and she's got basically money on all of them. I'm like, wait a minute, how does that make
That's horrible.
how does that make financial sense?
It doesn't. But yet they want to give you financial advice. That's why you know what I say to them? I go, okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
See you later.
I said, I'm like, and I almost want the apartment was like, hey, tell you what, why don't we, I was gonna do your little thing. Let's compare credit reports and bank statements and let's see.
You know what they're gonna say? Oh, my credit score is this, and then you got to reiterate. I didn't say your credit score. I said your whole entire credit report. Oh, why do you want to see that? Nobody ever asked that. Okay, I already know that too. Okay, are you gonna show it to me?
Yeah.
Here's mine. Let me pull up mine right now. I'll pull it up right in front of you.
Okay. A buddy of mine did this thing what you're talking about before him and his wife got married. He says, before we get married, that's what they did. They actually exchanged credit reports. Now, this was back in like 2010.
Nice.
2011, back when. So, he told me this, this thing long before I heard you. And I've always kept that in the back of my mind. Whoever I decide to marry, if I ever get married again, that is the number one thing I am going to do.
Well, I tell you like this, Johnny. Check it out. You won't even get to the marriage plate if you meet a person and you hear them talking debt, buying stuff, and don't care about student loan debt. You won't even get anywhere close to marriage.
Right.
She won't even be your girlfriend because it'll be a waste of time. But like you're in debt. Oh yeah, and did she come? Imagine a woman coming home that you're dating. She's always complaining about her job. She's complaining about the student loan debt. She's hoping the next president will clear it because it's straining her. And if you turn to her and say, "Hey, why don't you just pay him off?" She look at you like, "What? I can't do that." You'd be like, "Okay, we can't be together." Why can't we be together? Because you're broke. You're in debt. That's why, and you don't care about living there. I don't want to live there.
No, sir.
And you know what? And one of this thing too, you guys don't. Now that I'm out of debt, I see everything. The bigger picture. I believe like government shutdowns. This is what I truly believe. Of course, I can never prove it, but it just makes sense. I believe they do government shutdowns on purpose. The reason why I do that, I think they do it so they can see how strong their hold is, right? So if they can get a whole group of people to work for free for a month, that's a good test. It's like, okay, cool. Our tests work. They're under our control. All right, we got those slaves to work for free. See what I'm saying? And how many other entities, because TSA wasn't the only people that worked for free, okay?
Yeah.
TSA was not there were other entities in the government that worked for free. All right, cool. We know our stronghold. All right, cool.
Well, this is not the first time the government's done this. I'm retired military, so I've seen this a few times happen. I remember the big one that happened back, I want to say
Mm-hmm.
2014. There
I
was
remember
another
that
one
one.
that happened.
I remember that
Yeah,
one.
and I remember a lot of, on base, we have a lot of civilian employees. They don't get paid.
Mm. See,
Yeah.
I wouldn't do that. I say, oh, I'm gonna do what? No, I quit. But people
Well,
say,
they
oh
weren't.
man, I've been here for years, man. I can't stop.
Nah.
I'll lose my retirement.
I lose
Retirement.
my Oh my.
Mm-hmm. Slaves think they get retirement. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah.
Slaves really believe they get retirement. They will never release that many of their slaves ever. That will never happen.
I'm glad you mentioned retirement, because if you honestly look at what Social Security is and how much money you're getting, it's not a lot. I mean, you're living on on a fixed income, which is not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Who want to
And
live
if
like
you
that? Mm.
right, and if your stuff is not paid off by time you're at that age,
Mm-hmm.
you have to keep working, or you're going to be beholden upon others to kind of help bail you out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you have to do yourself. Like, you have to save up, and you have to do you. You can. A Social Security cannot determine your retirement. You have to determine your retirement.
Ain't that funny? The majority of people believe some other outside entity calculates their finances better than themselves.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, I'm going to get this house, man. They got to look at my debt to income ratio. I just want to say, do you hear the actual what you're saying? Debt to income. If you don't have any debt, there is no income ratio at all for you. Get out of debt, and that ratio won't. The bank made up that ratio. You know that, right? The bank came up with that. Since you don't know, they took it upon themselves to make money from you because you don't know. This is crazy, man. But hey, it's the system. Whoever came up with this system, I'm gonna tell you guys, somebody came up with this system. Believe this is not an accident. This is like a Picasso painting. It flows.
It's actually very simple, but that's part of the problem. It's too simple, and people don't believe it.
Exactly.
No,
way too simple.
listen, you guys are saying it wrong. That's part of the conditioning. It's made simple on purpose, so nobody will believe it. Tell anybody, hey man, hey, you know how you can become financially free. How do you do that? You pay your debt off. They would say, what are you talking about? Yeah, just that math we learned in grade school. Yeah, take that, apply it to your finances, and you'll always win with money. What are you talking about? What do you mean? It can't be that easy. That's what they'll say to you. And then you know what I say to myself when I hear that? This is what I say. Who invented that? Who came up with that to trick slaves into not understanding that it's just mathematics? That is brilliant.
That's a good question.
Somebody did.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
All right. Well, thank you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and hop off. I got to get my day started.
All right.
All right, Johnny. Appreciate you jumping
All
on.
right, LJ. Hey, man. I learn something every time I watch you, man.
Hey, man. I learned. You know what? I learned from you guys too. UBI. I don't know anything about that, but I will be reading about it.
Okay.
So I thank you guys too, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Take care.
Bye.
Yeah, you must be getting a lot here, Gabriel. At 19, man, you soaking it up. But you're gonna be remember, you are now an alien. Okay, in the debt matrix at 19, you are now an alien. Okay.
That's 100% true.
So it doesn't matter if you speak in Spanish. It doesn't matter if you speak in English.
Yeah.
You're still gonna be an alien. Nobody's gonna understand either language you choose to speak.
Yeah, and when it comes to hanging out with like family or friends, you really do notice that, like, let's put it this way: when I was in the Super Bowl party with my friends, they wanted me to waste $100 on food and stuff like that, and I kept saying no, like that's waste, and then they'll be mad. Oh, why are you broke? This and that. They'll literally say if I'm broke, like, are you broke? Like, come on, like my friend Ernesto, he'll be like, come on, Gabriel. Yo, you need to stop with that. I don't know who keep telling you stuff like that, but come on, man. That's nothing. I know you have money. I'm like, I just don't want to put in.
No, Gabriel, this is what you say. When they say, what's wrong, Gabriel? You broke? This is what you say. Yes, I am. You mess it up, man. You got to fit into the debt matrix. Hey, Gabriel, you broke. Is that why you can't put $100 in? Yeah, I'm broke. Then they'll stop bothering you. Oh man, don't ask Gabriel. He's always broke. That's exactly what you want them to say.
That's what he says. He says I have a broke mindset.
Yeah, and
And
then
you
you
actually
say,
get
and just tell him, yes, I do.
and you actually get very like actually frustrated with me. I'm like, I told him. I remember one time talking about the 30,000 stuff because he was the one the 30,000, and I kept telling him, listen, do you know that's a very horrible thing? If you have cash free, just pay it off. Why would you put a down payment and pay it monthly? It doesn't even make sense. And then he'll be like, listen, Gabriel, like you have an old head mindset. I don't know who keeps telling you that. You need to stop watching stuff. You need to stop. I don't know. The majority of people do it, so stuff like that. And I'm like, he kept getting like aggressive. I'm like, okay, bro. And then we just had to switch the conversation because I just cannot talk finances with
Yeah, because
my friends.
you're gonna learn. See, you're gonna learn because you're trying to make sense. You got to stop trying to make sense. That's your problem. Your math adds up. That's your problem.
Yeah.
We were talking about
Yeah,
this in the Discord, sir. We brought up Hyphy brought that up. He said, when somebody called Gabriel, he's an old person or old what did you call it? Old head?
Old head.
Old
Yeah,
head.
they call me old head.
Well, it's actually a compliment because it usually older people talk the way you're talking.
Exactly. Yeah.
So actually they don't realize they're giving you a compliment. They don't know they're giving you, oh man, stop reading, stop trying to understand stuff, stop trying to think like older people that know about money. That's stupid. See, they're giving you a compliment.
Yeah, 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 like what you're saying, just pretend that like, okay, yeah, I'm broke. Like I can't talk about finances. I have to talk about
Mhm.
stuff else, and I have to just keep my finance to like myself because it's like it's really weird. Like people who are in debt, it's like they want to make other like they want to help people like how Hyphy was like how Hyphy and Shell was saying that they want to help people, which is true. They want to help people, but they're in debt. So how would they help somebody else? They're gonna just make them in debt.
They don't know that.
They don't know that exactly. Don't you see how conditioned being in debt is? Like
No,
it's
they
like
don't. Once you, Gabriel, I promise you, life is going to be much easier if you accept that they don't know. Accept it.
except if they don't know that they're in debt.
Correct.
That's
Accept
true.
that they don't know. If you accept the reason why they're saying the things they're saying because they don't know, they don't do it like this. If they knew what they were saying didn't make mathematical sense, they wouldn't say it.
Exactly.
So since they're saying it, that means they don't know. So that's why you go, okay. People always say to me, hey man, LJ, you're only financially free because you don't have a mortgage. I just go, okay. They say that to me all
Oh
the time. They say
my
that to me all the time. Oh
god.
man, how you know? You don't own no property. You know what I want to say? You don't either, but you don't even know that. But I can't say that. I'll have no friends ever.
Yeah.
Nobody would like
Yeah.
me if I said that.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Well, do you have like? Oh
Go.
my!
No,
No,
go
I
ahead.
was, I was just
Go
trying
ahead.
to say, do you have any like family members, friends that are like, are like us, like that free?
No,
No, not at all.
no.
Yeah,
I
me
got some. No,
neither.
I got it. No, I'm sorry. I have two close friends that are financially free. And when I say financially free, I mean on the other side of zero. Not
Yeah, like
no debt.
like none of my family, none of my friends are that. So like, it's like, it's very weird, because of course I can't have conversations with them. Like I can have any type of other conversation, about like how was your day, stuff like that, like
Yeah,
but
casual stuff that
it's
don't mean anything. Yeah, I know what
yeah,
you're saying.
oh, okay,
Yeah.
like that. But like when it comes to that, no, like it's complete opposite.
Mm-mm. No, you can't. You can't talk to them about it. You can't say anything. You got to accept that that's part of the conditioning mindset. And we
Hmm.
must have slaves, Gabriel. There must be slaves, or else the whole economy wouldn't work. To think about it this way, Gabriel.
Yeah.
I always think collectively. If everybody all of a sudden understood how bad it was to finance a car, the whole car economy would crash because there would be nobody left to
Hmm.
finance cars.
That's true. That's very true.
If they denied everyone that was in debt a mortgage, the whole housing market would crash.
That's why it's like $1 trillion in mortgage debt, $1.6 trillion in student loan debt,
Oh
1
no, not
trillion in
one.
car.
No, oh, not in mortgage debt. No, not 1 trillion.
One-
Trillions, plural.
Oh, my
Okay,
bad. My
yeah,
bad.
you just
Trillions.
talking about student loan debt. It'll catch
Uh,
up, but the student loan debt is
oh,
1.7
that's
trillion.
scary.
Mortgage
Oh my.
mortgage debt is trillions, plural.
Oh my.
Yeah.
People need to wake up, man. That's horrible.
And guess what else? All those millions of people in there, they believe they're homeowners.
Yes, that's.
They call themselves every day, "Hey, I'm a homeowner." I just go, "Okay." You better not say nothing. You'll be an alien for the rest of your life. You better learn the language. You better learn the language, Gabriel, while you're young.
Yeah.
Get used to this. Okay. Are you broke, Gabriel? Yep. You don't ever have any money. You're right. I'm broke. You still driving that old car?
My.
Yep. Why don't you get a new one?
God.
I can't afford it. I'm broke. I keep telling you that.
Oh, well, you put a down payment for it.
Yeah. Why don't you just trade that car in and use that as a down payment on a new car? I'm broke. That's why.
Yeah. One thing else, when it comes to cars, I don't know why people car lease.
Because they're in debt.
Like that one's like, okay, financing a car, like, okay, that's still horrible, but car leasing, like, damn.
It doesn't matter. Fighting over buying versus leasing, only slaves do that. The bank still owes them. The bank owns them both. It doesn't matter if you buy or lease. It doesn't matter. Only slaves argue over who's got the better master. Oh, my master's better than your master. He only charges me 1.5%. Oh, my master said if I do it for 5 years, he'll charge me 3.5, and then I'll get some. See, they just talk. That's how slaves talk.
That's nonsense. Yeah, like just nonsense. And you ask them, what about just paying cash? If you have cash for it, and then they'll be like, oh, but look at this deal, and like they'll keep like rambling about it.
No, this is what they normally say. This is what they normally say. I don't have the money for that.
Well, yeah, of course. They don't buy it. Then don't.
They'll say it to your face, Gabriel. I don't have the money for that, and then you go, okay. Then that's where you stop. You can't go any further than that. They answered your question. The reason why you're financing the car is because you don't have the money for it, and you say, and they'll tell you yes, and then you go, okay, and you walk away.
It's so true, but it's kind of, you can't put feelings in that because it's true what you say. You can't help everybody because for whatever reason you just can't help people. It's like talking to the wall sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But
by the time you teach somebody about finances that's deep in the debt matrix, I will have learned full Spanish with no dialect. With like you'll believe I come from Mexico by the time you teach them money. You will believe that I was born in Mexico by the time you teach them.
And the people who do get out of the debt matrix, good for them. Like,
yes.
but like the people. Yeah, like you want to help people, like of course you want to help people, but it's true what you say. Not everybody could be helped.
Mm-hmm.
It's just plain and simple.
See, Dave said Gabriel could be a millionaire by age 30. You sure could. It's just all you got to do. It's so easy. It's so easy, Gabriel. Do the exact opposite of everybody else in the world financially, and you'll be rich. That's it. That's the answer.
And LJ, when I was like a very little kid, I always thought that being a millionaire was very hard. You had to do a lot. You had to work harder than the average. But that's what I always thought.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, maybe that, but that's what I always thought. But then you look at it, it's actually not that hard. You just be in debt,
No,
save, invest.
It's not hard at all. I'm gonna give you the answer. I'm gonna give you the answer right here. I'm gonna give you the answer.
Okay.
Before you can get to 1 million, you must learn how to count to 1 million. Okay, and then you tell somebody, they're like, "What do you talk about? I know how to count 1, 2, 3." I'd be like, "No, stop! You forgetting the main number 0. Why are you forgetting 0?" And then you go add up all your savings, add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals the number where you start to account to 1 million.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
How you gonna get to $1 million if you don't even know how to count to $1 million?
that's very true.
Oh, they brought up a good one. If you ask somebody in your job, hey, have you invested in your 401k? And if they say, what is a 401k? That take 2 steps back and walk
Oh.
away. That's what you do. You walk away.
Oh my. Nah. Damn. Imagine saying that. What's a 401k? Damn. That I don't. What the hell? They must be in debt for real.
They're in debt. But
They must be
them
hella in debt.
maxing out a 401k is nobody's ever going to tell you they have. You know why? Because I never did.
Mhm.
I've been working all my life. I never once maxed out my 401k until the last few years. Until the last couple of years, I was debt free with a job. That's the only time I did it.
Well, do you at least know it existed?
Yeah, I knew it existed. Yeah, but I never contributed to
No.
it. That was always
It's,
done.
that's
That was always done by my job.
that's better than not knowing what is that.
True. Yeah. Knowing,
No, at least you
knowing, but
knew
at
it.
least knowing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dave Bourne says passed down without anyone really making sense of it. Let me see. You guys have been typing in here. Cosmic Wisdom says she's heard of UBI. Cosmic Wisdom says worst thing ever, everyone gets a set amount of income inflation. Ooh, I know, right?
Yeah, that's
Sounds like almost like what's that? Wouldn't that be considered socialism? I don't know.
what UBI.
A set amount for everybody and all this other stuff. Wouldn't it be a
Well, yeah, that's true. Of course, that would be true. Yeah, but how people you could implement UBI by now. You could implement it somewhere else. I don't know how, but yeah, I guess.
That's just I just look at it. It's clearly for people that rely on the government. They just don't know they can rely on themselves. They just don't know that.
That's true.
Global Sync says, I have always saved 10% of every payday and lived on 90%. If you make 1,000, save and invest 100 and live on 900. It's a great smart to start building wealth. Yeah. I don't even, honestly, with me, now that I'm debt free, I don't really look at saving money in percentages anymore, really, because it just happens. You know what I'm saying? It just happens. You know what I'm saying? I think I'm getting a lot of feedback on your thing, Gabriel. I think.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. I was just hearing myself through your speaker.
No, okay. My bad.
Cosmic Wisdom says things will go up and people will be back to square one. Oh yeah, they will be for sure.
Yeah. You know, it's true. Like you'll have to help yourself. That I always thought that, and that was always to be. You have to help yourself. You can't. That like okay, it's maybe good, but you just have to help yourself with how you spend and how you use your money.
Mm-hmm. Once you get out of debt, you'll see. And again, at 19, man, I really wish I would have. And I'm happy to be sharing this with you, Gabriel, because man, I just wish somebody at 19 would have told me this. But for your information, I would have to know to even hear a person like me. So you're way ahead of the game to even be taking the time to listen to me. I want you to understand that, to even be taking the time to listen to me at 19. It's very important, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So congratulations on knowing that part.
Well, yeah, you know, like stuff like, you know, like people just can't be saved, you know, and like at a certain point, like you're like, damn, why can't people be like say like, you know, that when feelings come, like you want to help people, but like at the same time, if they can't listen, then you can't help them.
You can't because you're gonna get frustrated, wondering why they can't hear you talk like this. Wah 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 wah. And then you're gonna wonder why they can't hear you.
Yeah.
And then you're gonna get frustrated. Well, all right, man. Thanks for jumping on here, Gabriel. Much appreciated, man. All right.
Thanks for having me on. You too.
No problem, man. Later. All right, let's see. It says, Day says, yes, I sure wish I could stop paying into Social Security and invest that money now. I am not counting on it either. If I get it, it will be a bonus to my retirement plan. Me too. That's exactly how I look at it. If I get it, it'll just be a bonus. But am I thinking about living on it, no. My vision is much bigger than that. You know, I know one day I'm going to be old, and I want to be in a really, really nice retirement home that costs a lot of money, because I won't be doing anything. I'm not going to depend on my kids to take care of me. I don't even want to. I wouldn't even want to put that burden on my children. I'm gonna just have enough money to be in a really, really nice retirement home. I take care of my body right now, so it'll be a long time before I even need help. So, Nonstop Dre says, I was 21 on active duty in the Marines when the government shutdown happened. After that, I decided that I'm not ever going to work for a government job ever again after I finish my 4 years at 21. Yeah, I won't do that. They gave to me, that was a test of the grip that they have over their. Of course, I can't prove it, but it seems obvious to me. Hey, you know what? Until we figure out what we're gonna do, we are not going to pay you guys, and you guys are going to be working for free until we figure out what. No, that's slavery. That's slavery to the fullest. That's slavery right in your face. They're not even hiding anything. And this is it was to show the grip. And then all of a sudden you saw all these people coming on the news talking about, oh my God, this government shutdown, it's been a month and I can't even pay my rent. I can't pay this. I can't pay that. I'm thinking, 1 month? 1 month, and you're about to lose everything from 1 month. Hopefully that woke up a lot of people and said, hey, wait a minute. I've been working since age 15. I'm 40 something now, and 1 month off will break me. They should wake up. I hope they wake up. Mez says, become a priest on the side. You can opt out Social Security account. Yeah, I heard about that account. If it goes against your beliefs, it's the only way to truly opt out of Social Security. That's extreme. I say like this: create a business, work for yourself, and you won't worry about any of that stuff. Create a successful business that helps others. Make sure it helps others. Okay, it helps others in some sort of way, and then you won't have to worry about any of that. Oh, becoming a priest. Mez says the military pension is pretty damn good, though. It counts on who are you comparing that to? It all counts on. It's all perspective. Are you comparing that pension to other people in the service, or are you comparing that pension to Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk? It's like when you see somebody's house, ooh, that's a nice house. You go, hey, who are you comparing that to? Are you saying it just for you? If you're saying, hey, I like my house, it's nice for me. Okay, cool. But if you're comparing it to everybody in the neighborhood, you're comparing it to people in your neighborhood. Get outside of your neighborhood, you can be like, oh, it's not really like that. Yeah, of course. No. Dave Bourne says, let him do it. You can't talk finances with a lot of people. You can't talk finances with hardly anybody. I don't even try anymore. This is why I created this channel, so I can talk to people who are ready to listen. Talk to other knowledgeable people, because anything outside of personal finances, I don't know anything about. That's why I have these people come on. That's why people in this room that know more about it. And I want you guys to see why I trust these people, because they talk the language. They talk the language. There's many different ways to become a millionaire. There's no set way. I'm only on my way to becoming a multimillionaire because it's me. Other people, it's realty, real estate. Other people, it's a business. It's totally just get out of debt, and you will see your path on how to become a multimillionaire. It's not really that difficult. They says, keep your finances to yourself. Otherwise, people will plan your money. They sure will. You better not tell nobody that you're debt free, because the people in debt think they won't come up to you and say, hey, how did you do it? You know what they're going to say? Hey, man, you don't got no bills. You can let me borrow some money. No, I can't. Dave says, let them see the fruits of your knowledge later in life. The light bulb will come on in years down the line. Ooh, man, don't let it be too long. You don't want to wake up at 60. Nonstop Dre says, I tell people all the time, I'm broke. I don't ever talk about money to me, or I'm going to stop talking to you. Or I'm going to stop talking to you. My life is very peaceful and simple now. I'm only 23. Yeah. You keep it that way. What's up, Hyphy? I didn't see you sneak up in here. Gabriel has one thing he must learn to really take himself to the next level, not caring about the opinions of other people. 85% of those opinions are from people in debt. Sure is. People in debt love to tell other people how to do their money when they don't even know how to do their own money. Best version says agreed. He needs to focus on himself. Exactly. He's learning, man. I always tell you guys, at 19, there was no way somebody could convince me at 19 to listen to a person like me. I wouldn't have heard a word they said. All I was thinking about is cars and girls. They says U.S. mortgage debt hits a record of 15.8 trillion outstanding. Outstanding U.S. mortgage debt rose to 15.8 trillion in the third quarter of 2019, according to the Federal Reserve. Look at all them people that believe they're homeowners. That's a lot of people. I see it all the time on Facebook. Oh my God, I'm a homeowner, and they got the keys in their hand. I go, ooh wee. That's what you believe, huh? Man, this condition system is on point. It is on point. So it's more than 15.8 trillion if that only covered third quarter. Yes, Day, you seeing it. This condition system is a masterpiece. I'm telling you guys, it's like a work of art. I don't hate it. Don't put your feelings on it. It's feelingless. It lets you choose the side of the system you want to be on. You want to be on the debt side or the non-debt side. I keep telling everybody, there's no such thing as classes, poor, lower class, middle class, and upper class. Those classes don't even exist. That's just a trick for people in debt. There's only two classes, the debt class and the non-debt class, and the debt class don't count. So what class you want to be in? Best version says, salute Cosmic, great gems. Yeah, she always has gems. And when you guys listen to Cosmic, does she sound like she's shaky? Do you think she sort of kind of knows what she's talking about? No, it's clear. Nonstop Dre says, Gabriel needs to get used to being alone because you won't be able to relate to most people. I mean, yeah, that's true. But 19, you don't want to be alone. You know what I'm saying? But I think it'll make him more powerful if he's alone for a little while, stack his dough, and then he reintroduces himself amongst the slaves, and then he'll know how to interact with them. Cosmic says, she says, scanning business receipts at the moment. Then in the gym, I did hope on earlier. I bet you Cosmic Wisdom scans her receipts while at the gym while lifting weights. I bet you she does it. With headphones on, lifting weights, scanning receipts with headphones on, lifting weights. I guarantee you she does that. Guaranteed. Mess says, Linnell, what's your current financial plan? What's a breakdown of where's your money going? I don't have any of that. I don't have any financial plan. Money's not going anywhere. It's not going nothing. It's all going into me. That's it. Just to promote me. To promote me, promote this business. That's the only thing I'm investing in. If my money runs out, guess what I got to do? I got to go back to work. The only thing I can help you guys understand is this. It's something about it. When you find your passion, there is no option to say it's not going to work. That is not an option. When I quit my job, I didn't say, man, I'm gonna cross my fingers and hope this will work. No, it's gonna work. There is no other option. Because if I give up, guess what my only option is? Go back to the 40-hour work week until I'm dead. I'm not doing that. You can't come on this side and taste the Kool-Aid and be like, that was good enough, and I'm gonna go back. No, there is no option to stop. There is no option. I would never, ever be able to fit back into the 40-hour work week world. I can't even imagine going back to work, hearing people complain about the job, the money, school tuition, taxes. I mean, people in the debt matrix at the workplace complain about everything under the sun. Can you imagine listening to that for 40 hours a week? No way, Jose. No way. I couldn't do that. Hyphy says, Gabe is a little kid in a candy store. You can hear the excitement in him. Guaranteed he will be hopping on a lot of the panels over the next few months. He's finally found people he can talk to. Yeah. Oh, man. Man, Gabriel, had I known this at 19, man, I mean, time doesn't matter. Time's on your side. That's just like that. Time's on your side because time really, let me take that back. Time really doesn't matter because you're not guaranteed to be 50. You know, people think, oh my God, if I was at that age and I learned this, and by the time I was 60, I would be, well, you're saying that you were pretty much guaranteed to be 60. I know plenty of people I grew up with didn't make it to 50. I got a whole bunch of friends that did not make it to 50. And when you and Gabriel, remember this, okay? Don't get caught up in the money. Don't. Make sure your health is there too, because your money won't matter. You need your body to walk around this earth to do whatever it is you feel like you're doing to come to your mind. And if your body's not capable of doing it, it doesn't matter how much money you have. So don't let the money be the end all be all. Hyphy and I was talking about this, that he brought something to my attention in a Discord server, right? Of how he does things. He's above zero. He stacks his money and then he lets it go back down to zero or whatever. I'm sure he can better explain it, right? Just to break the habit of thinking that you need millions and billions of dollars. You don't need that much money. You don't. I can 100% verify that to be true. I've been not having a traditional job for 4 years, and I'm not even close to a millionaire. The majority of people they'll believe in order for me to take a year off, I got to be a multimillionaire. I know that's what you believe, but it's not true. How do I know this? I've done it. Dave Bourne says, I have people at my job who are not in my company 401k. Some don't even know the company has one. Others don't want to. Yeah, because they can't afford it anyway, so they didn't bother with it. Some companies force you into it. They say, hey, we're going to take a certain percentage. And they go, oh, okay. And then people are happy with that. Oh, my job is taking care of me and my 401k, because they get these statements. They used to always mail these 401k statements to my house. I never opened them. They just stacked in the corner. I didn't even look at them. I was like, whatever. That's 65 years old. Whatever. That debt slave mentality mindset I had back then. Oops. Dang, this thing be flying up. 1 second here. He says it's amazing how these stock market crashes shows who was responsible with their money or not. It's like, you know what, I heard an awesome and it was by a famous person. I forgot his name. It'll come to me. But anyway, it said something like crashes are like when the tide goes out, it shows who was skinny dipping or something like that. It was funny as hell. When the tide goes out, it'll expose who was skinny dipping. And that's why I think stock market crashes, economy crashes, those are planned. Those are on purpose. So it's imagine like a water filter. It'll filter out all the fakers, because the fakers can't fake being in debt. When the economy crashes, it exposes them all. They'll lose their houses and cars. And then when they do lose all that stuff, guess what they'll blame? The economy crashed. Right? Oh man, the economy crashed. That's why I lost everything. Okay, whatever. I just bought some plantains too. Those are like those aren't those big bananas with seeds in them? Well, I should say these economy crashes. Yeah, they always happen. Ivy says, I posted a step-by-step guide to getting your 3 credit bureau scores and credit bureau reports for free. Much better than Credit Karma. I know. I got to go check that out again. I got to go. I didn't even look at it, but I like all 3. I like seeing all 3. I'm going to do that. But I mean, just to show you guys, I really don't care to look at it, but I like to have all 3 for free, because I'm not paying to go see my credit score. I absolutely refuse to pay to see my credit score. I am not doing that. That mortgage debt is flat out scary. Yeah. Only people that are involved in it. But you got to remember, people in mortgage debt, they don't know that it's scary. They just think it's normal. Because Gabriel, when I was in debt, but I had a 6-figure job, I was deep in debt, but I wasn't scared because I had a job. It's just the weirdest thing. Most of my life, pretty much most of my life, for the first 40 years of my life, I lived in debt. But I wasn't scared at all because I was a conditioned slave. They says, I most certainly have a story to share. I just shared with you guys the debt payoff numbers. Cosmic says, but I'm showing you the next level of the game. Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Cosmic Wisdom is definitely showing you guys that. If you master the tools out here, you can shape your own life. You sure can. Abe says, I was feeling down today, but your videos will always bring me back up. I appreciate that, Abe. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that, man. Because believe it or not, I know you guys see me here on every day, man. I get down. Sometimes it happens. But I always keep in mind that it's temporary. Listen, this is how I think. The future does not exist. Okay? When I started, sometimes when I first got out of debt, I was thinking, oh man, I'm 50. Oh, it's going to take me so long. It's going to take me this amount of years to get to millions of dollars. I'll be this. And how do I know what? Then I stop myself and say, what's wrong right now, Linnell? What's wrong right now? Do you have money in the bank? Yeah. Are your bills paid? Yeah. You got a place to live? Yeah. Are you worried about anything right now? No. Then why are you worried about the future? It doesn't even exist. When tomorrow comes, it'll be today. You'll never reach the future. That's why they sell it to you. This is why they sell so many people the future, because it doesn't even exist. That's why they sell it to you. Nonstop Dre says, I get 10% of my military income tax free per month until I die, but I don't tell people I know. Live stream like yours and Aaron Clary are the few places where I hear real conversations with wisdom. Yeah. And you know what's so crazy, Nonstop Dre, man? I knew when I created this business, this channel, I knew it wasn't going to be that many people. I knew that. When I first started this channel, I would come in and start these live sessions and strictly be talking to myself the whole time, talking to myself, but I didn't care. I'm on a whole different mindset. There is no going back for me. There is no going back. I don't listen to people in debt anymore. Because say like I ran out of money and I had to go back to work. People in debt would say, oh, look, I guess his debt thing didn't work. He's back to a regular job. You can't turn to them and say, hey, how else am I supposed to get money? Borrow it like you? That's why I don't listen to slaves. You cannot listen to slaves. Oh, I thought Day was on that server. Click that link, Day. He posted it already. He posted it. Hyphy posted it once already. They said, I was listening to another YouTuber on the outskirts, like LJ, and he said that the banks felt it wasn't good enough to take your whole check, so they figured out a way to get even more of your money. Yeah, it's just business. It's just business. Banks are not big, bad, and evil. They're not doing anything negative to anybody. They're not tricking anybody. The banks can't trick me. If I walked up and said, hey, I want a loan, and they say, oh, hey, you want a loan? Okay, here's our terms. If you want to borrow our money, I'll read over the terms. If I didn't like them, I say, no, thank you. I don't want your loan. All you guys got to do is pay attention to installment loans, things like the Earning app, payday loans. That tells you the real situation. People are borrowing money at 400% and 500%. That's how bad it is. That's how much people are in debt. I watch a lot of UK shows. I watched this one show that's called Don't Pay, We'll Take It Away, or something like that. It's just as bad over in the UK. It's just as bad. Day says debt helps you steal from your future income. That's not guaranteed. And I know it's like this, Day. When people in debt, People in debt actually brag about borrowing from their 401k, right? They don't really even know that they're telling everybody in debt by doing so. Because in real life, they're telling everybody in the world that they're borrowing from their future to pay for their present because they don't have any money right now. That's why they're borrowing from their future. So when you hear somebody bragging about borrowing from their 401k, oh man, I can borrow 15,000, 20,000 from my 401k. They're telling you that they're broke. That's why they're borrowing from their future. But again, they don't know they're saying that. So when you hear people talk like that, you have to go, okay, because if they mathematically understood what they were saying, they wouldn't say it, especially out loud on social media. Gabriel says, yeah, you don't need that much money. No, you don't need that much money at all. Right now, I'm living off about $35,000 a year, but according to society, that says I'm broke, I'm poor, I'm at the poverty line, or whatever made up number that the news says. The news just be making up stuff, but you got to understand the news is only talking to the average. The average is made up of millions upon millions of people making the same financial decisions as one, just like the Star Trek, the Borg. They're all plugged in. All right. The news is only talking to those people. The people that are in the debt matrix, they don't know the news is just talking to them. They're not talking to me. That's why I don't watch it. They're not talking to me. Day says, yes, LJ, when you don't have payments, it's amazing how little you can live on. Oh yeah, Day. You just crossed over to the other side of zero. You're gonna really see how little it is to live to live on, right? Now, when I was in debt, I remember when somebody would say, oh man, you can't live off $1 million. Yes, I can. I can live the rest of my $1 million. I can live the rest of my life free off of $1 million. That's with no investing in anything. If I was like, check this out. If I had zero debt, which I have now, and a paid off house and $1 million in the bank, I would never work another day in my life. And that's without investing the $1 million in anything. Would I invest in something? Yes. I'm just saying in general. That's without investing the money into anything. I could live to the rest of my days until I was dead off $1 million. Easy. I've been living off $35,000 easy for 4 years. 1 million? Oh yeah, you would never see me ever work again. But then again, when I do this is not work for me. That's why we're almost 3 hours. Nonstop Dre says it's funny to me that people care about money more than their own health. Yeah, that's just society. That's all part of the plan. People don't realize the future doesn't even exist. Most young people believe that they're going to live to be 60, 70. This is what young people should do. They should go up to a person that's 60, 70, 80 years old and say, hey, how many of your friends made it to your age right now? How many of your friends made it to your age? From my age to your age, how many made it to 80? And then that'll wise you up. That'll open your eyes. You'll be like, wait a minute, nobody's guaranteed to live that long. So here you are. What if you one of the slaves or one of the people that just worship money and you think, I got to keep stacking. I got to keep stacking. I got to keep stacking. I got to do this. I got to invest in that. I don't want any of that part of it. I don't want any of that nonsense. None of it. Right. But then all of a sudden, next thing you know, you haven't been taking care of your health, and then you have a heart attack, and then you're paralyzed or a stroke, and then you're paralyzed on one side. Now you can't do nothing. Now your money can't do anything for you. Nothing. They said Warren Buffett said that. Yeah, that's what I was trying to get. I knew it was somebody that was popular, right? Yeah, he said that economies are like the tide. When the tide goes out, it exposes who've been skinny dipping. That's what the economy crashes do. And you know how the economy crashes are controlled by the lever that they always show that the Feds lift up to raise interest rates, to that same handle that lifts that increase the interest rates and lowers the interest rates. That's what controls the economy crashes or not. That's how it works. Cosmic Wisdom says, indeed, Nonstop Dre, no need for money if your health is crap. You see Cosmic's killing the game. She's always going to the gym. Now, I wouldn't be like Cosmic Wisdom, carrying my printer and all my receipts and my gym clothes and my sports drink and my headphones and scanning. That's kind of weird to be scanning your receipts inside the gym. I just think that's overboard, but that's just me, you know. Can you imagine Cosmic Ones? You probably take up the whole bench on the bench press, got all these papers across the bench and the printer sitting on it. And you're like, hey, lady, you almost done with that bench? And then she looks up at you and says, does it look like I'm done scanning and lifting? You know what I'm saying? Nonstop Dre says, have you read the book, How to Become a Millennial? No, I haven't. Learning from America's Largest Sociological Disaster by Vince Barrick. If so, what are your thoughts? No, I haven't read those. No, I'm gonna be, you know what, this is what I always preach. This is what I always preach to you guys. Not only do everything opposite of the majority financially, I do the opposite of majority almost everything. So if the majority of people watch TV, right? So I decided I'm gonna do more reading since the majority of people watch TV. And one thing I've discovered by reading more, there are words in the English language that I'd never hardly use. So if somebody came up to me and started using these words that are never hardly used, it would sound like a whole different English language to me. Because I always find myself that I read more. I always find myself going to Google and defining words in books. I'd be like, I don't know what that word is. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that word means. What does that mean? I don't skip over words. So it takes me a long time to read a book because I'm always looking up words. Because once you know the meaning of the word and then you go back and read that paragraph or whatever again, you'd be like, oh, then it all clicked. NC Big says, LJ, a friend told me when I get a house, I don't want to pay it off because of the house credit on interest. He said 100 times 30 is a lot of money. I said 30. 12 times 1,000 is 360,000. No comparison. It's just, you got to remember, NC Biggs, they're just doing what people told. They're in the back of their mind. What they're really saying, I don't believe I'll ever pay off my house anyway. So the next best thing is to write off the interest. So they're happy to write off something that they don't even have to have in the first place. So they're happy to write off, just like people with student loans. They don't believe they'll ever pay off their student loan. So they're happy to write off the interest of that student loan, not realizing that don't mean anything. You're happy with writing off something that you don't even have to have? That doesn't even make any sense. Anybody in this room, I strongly suggest if you ever get a chance to pay off your house, pay off your house. I'm showing you right in your face. There are millions of people that call themselves homeowners, millions, and they have mortgages. That's conditioning, people. That's a conditioned mindset. The banks or whoever have conditioned people to believe they are a homeowner for 30 years. No one ever stops to say, wait a minute, why am I calling myself a homeowner and I have this 30-year thing over my head? But that doesn't even make any sense. No, but they never do that. Dave said, I just joined the Discord server, download. Okay, cool. Hyphy says, LJ, you're right about the change now statement. That's why I stopped listening to those telling me to be patient. I snatched mine by any means necessary. I got next, and I got now. See, that's you know what, Hyphy, man, he like yesterday, man, we was on a Discord server, you guys, man. There's very few people you can talk at a deep level about this, and it really made me think about that. I was like, damn, Hyphy's right. I've been doing that for 4 years already, but still here I am still thinking, oh man, I got to get to millions. And it's like, but Linnell, you've been living cool off of 30,000. Why do you need anything right now? This is what I'm talking to myself. If somebody would have been watching me, right? Do you need anything right now? No. You hurting for money? Mm-mm. You got food? Yeah. You got gas? Oh yeah. I just filled it up yesterday. I pull up to the gas station with my big truck. I don't even look at the gas price. I just wait for it to click and I just leave. Right? I was like, maybe that's an illusion too, because credit is the illusion of ownership. And I want you guys to all listen to this closely, okay? Credit is the illusion of ownership, and I believed that illusion for a long time. Now that I'm on the other side of out of debt, I can clearly see that credit is an illusion, and I can prove it with mathematics. So I think to myself, maybe saying a million, like I need a million, a billion, a trillion. That's also an illusion. It gotta be, because I live fine right now, and I don't have anything close to a million. See what I'm saying? NC Big says, I'm not ready yet, but well, when I am, I'm going to talk. No, you're ready right now, NC Biggs, because it's a mindset. You don't NC Biggs, I need to give you some tests so you can understand where you're at. Okay. You need to have some tests. Hey man, just you find it, go to your friends. Hey, you're financing taxes when you're financing a car. They won't hear you. You'd be like, oh yeah, they didn't hear me. I'm on the next level. Yep, I sure am. Hey man, I heard you're a homeowner. Yeah, I am a homeowner. What type of mortgage you have? Oh, I don't know. What's PMI? I don't know. They did it wrong. They don't know they did it wrong, but you're already ahead of the game. NC Biggs, you got to learn the language. And if you wasn't already ahead of the game right now, NC Biggs, this is what I want you to do. I want you to stop everything you're doing right now. Forget about ever getting out of debt and go back to the way you lived before you start coming being part of the SMD family. Stop right now. Stop right now. I want you to close down your phone, power it down. I want you to walk into the Apple store or some store, and I want you to get you a brand new iPhone 11. I want you to finance it, of course. Actually, finance your whole family. Get your kids ones too. Give everybody iPhones 11s or Note 10s, whatever your preference is. Finance them all. What the heck? Might as well stay there. Everybody else is doing it. I guarantee you wouldn't be able to do it. Guaranteed. Oh, my bad, Cosmic. I thought you know what? That was overboard. Overboard. I'm sorry. I thought you were extreme like that. Okay. I don't put it past you though. I ever saw that Cosmic Wisdom Gym, I'd be like, what hours you go, Cosmic? Those are hours I'm not going. She be taking up all the benches with paperwork. Cosmic says, gym later, both places are 10-minute walk from my house. Okay. Nonstop Dre says, I realize a 23-year-old single guy who's not ever going to have kids or get married. I only need $37,000 to live a very comfortable lifestyle by my standards, and that's mind-blowing to me. You know, I'm going to put it to you this way, Nonstop. You're going to evolve. Okay. I'm not saying you're going to change your mind, having kids or get married. You know, that you might be really convicted of that. And I want you to understand there's nothing wrong with deciding not to have kids. There's nothing wrong with deciding to never get married, but I'm going to say it two ways. I wouldn't really, being debt free, I wouldn't worry about the married part right now, because I promise you, you will never marry a woman who's in debt. You'll never do that. That will never happen. You don't even know how much money that's going to save you right now. Don't believe me? Take the time to go downtown in your city. It doesn't matter what city you're in, and see if you can sit in on a child custody hearing. Okay. Go downtown and just sit in the back and just sit in on them. That's where all your money will be going. If you marry the wrong person and have the kid with the wrong person, that's where you will be. That's where you will live. You don't want that. That's a whole nother money maker right there. Day says, yes, I'm thinking of selling my TV. I find that I don't need it. Yeah, I'm with you, Day. I'm not really, I mean, don't get me wrong. I watch a lot of debt shows, though. I watch a lot of American Greed. I watch a lot of UK debt shows. I don't really watch regular TV shows. But then again, I can't even watch those on my laptop. So I don't really need a TV, but there's nothing like watching those type of shows in my bed. But I just like regular TV shows, I just don't watch, because for some reason, this is just me. I can't really watch shows unless the actor is phenomenal, because in my mind, I know they're acting, right? I just know they're acting. So like, I love watching Will Smith because he's a great actor. Denzel Washington is a great actor. Samuel L. Jackson, great actors. But regular everyday TV shows, I just can't watch it because I know it's fake. It's a TV show. And it's people that have done what it takes to live out their dreams, to be on this screen that's in front of me while they're making millions doing what they love. I'm watching them do it. And in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm you already. I'm just trying to get to wherever this is to do what you guys are doing for the rest of my life. Because once this is what I'm going to do until I'm dead. Personal finances. I'm only sticking with personal finances. That's it. I'm not going any further. Any further than that, I'm going to seek the professionals. Cosmic Wisdom, Shell, Knight. God, what's his name, man? I forgot his Knight. Black Knight. Excuse me, Black Knight. They says that yes, the Kindle has a built-in dictionary, so I love looking up words. Oh, that's cool. So what do you just highlight it and then just automatically tells you what it means? Ill Will, what's up, man? Man, you have been vanished for when you get down in the books, you be like ghost. Well, I'm the ghost of Ill Will. NC Big says, "Oh my God, I can't do that. I can't do it." That should tell you, because I want you to take time and stop. I know this is hard to grasp, okay? But time is an illusion. It's an illusion, especially when it comes to your money. Time is an illusion, and I'm gonna give you an example so you can understand what I mean. If I stood up in front of a class of, say, like high school students, and I said, "Hey, everybody, 5 + 5 = 10." Nobody in the audience is going to say, "Hey, he only knows that 5 + 5 = 10 because he's 50." It doesn't matter. Then nobody would ever say that. If somebody in the audience said that, everybody would look at him like they're nuts. What do you mean because he's 50? That has nothing to do with anything. Exactly, because time is irrelevant. Cosmic Wizard says, "I've always been a bookworm, love the process of learning." See, I've always been a person that reads books to learn, never for like and when I say learn, I mean learn for the job. Okay, never learning for myself, just learn because I need to learn this software, so I'm reading, right? Never learn for knowledge for myself. So now that's my plan to do. Well, that's what I'm doing, but I just started, really, like seriously started. I read, but I'm like seriously start. Nonstop Dre says, "I'm surprised people still watch TV. I've stopped watching TV since I was 13. One of the best choices I've ever made." Wow. I'm impressed by that. I like watching money shows like American Greed. I just look to see how these guys, like, for example, like Bernie Madoff, right? He did a pyramid, a Ponzi scheme for years. And nobody knew anything for years. And all he had to do, this is all he had to do, just promise greedy people returns of money that doesn't happen with anybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's all they had to do. Oh man, Bernie can get me, though the whole market can't get these type of returns, Bernie can. That's just like a dead giveaway. Wait, how come you can and nobody else can? Oh, he knows a secret. Oh yeah, he knows a Ponzi scheme secret. Cosmic says, "Indeed, Hyphy, someone said I don't read, like they are proud of it. I feel sorry for." Oh, I know, right? People say that all the time. I don't read. It's like, ooh, but Cosmic, that's just like when people say they sit down in front of their money in front of a banker and say, "Oh man, I'm not that good at math." They'll say that in front of the person that's handling their money. You might as well just say, "Hey, let me just transfer my money over to your account right now." That's what you just told them. Yeah, Will says, "Yes, sir. Moving back over into the engineering position. Great opportunity for me. Leaving the paperwork soon. I'm closer to having the opportunity to showcase my talent." You know what? Me and Hyphy and I were talking about this. I really, honestly, Ill Wills, as an experiment, I really want to go back into the work environment. I do, but not just a regular job that I hate. Just a job, something I will like. Something I will like, but I want to really, because even though I was debt free about a year and a half before I quit my job. It was something came over me the best way I can describe it, an overwhelming feeling came to me and said, "You need to quit." And this is not for everybody. I'm not telling you to quit your job, not try to say copy me or whatever, right? I'm just telling you what happened to me. It's an overwhelming feeling. And I'll never forget this. I remember standing up from my desk, walking to the window, looking outside, looking, it was a sunny day, and something said, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to leave this job. Now, now this conversation was in my head. Now I'm debt free with money in the bank. So even though I had money in debt, I had money in the bank and I was debt free. The first thing that popped in my head was like, what about the bills or whatever, right? It was an automatic response. And then it came back, hey, what are you thinking about that? You're debt free. You don't have to worry about that. You have no bills. What are you talking about? So now you have no excuse. You can quit. And for me, I'm telling you, it changed my life. But it took a year for me to break the 40-hour work week habit. I mean, me and NC Biggs and I was talking about this, man. He was like, man, how do you get to the level where you can say, I don't even think about money and I quit my job because I didn't like it. I could hear it in his voice. It sounded like if it was just way out there, unbelievable, beyond belief. You must be a multimillionaire to do that. And I'm saying, no, NC Biggs, I'm right here on the phone with you. What are you talking about? I'm not any one of those. I'm not a millionaire. I'm not none of that. And I did it. And I actually did it. So it can be done. And you're talking to a person that did it. I'm not just telling you to do something that I didn't do. Will says, we still down like 4 flat tires. You never know, man. I do these things for not only myself, for you guys. I want you guys to experience this. And you guys that are getting out of debt right now with jobs right now, I want you guys to share your experiences, how it will be for you at work that you're debt free. You guys kind of hear cosmic wisdom with how she is, right? But I want to hear from somebody that's freshly out of debt. I want you guys to open your eyes and ears to how your life will be at work now. You're not going to tolerate anything. You're definitely not going to give any of the time in your life away for free. That'll never happen again. Will says, about to start studying soon. Just wanted to come check out the broadcast. Thanks, Wills, man. I know when you drop off, man, I know your head's down. I know your head's down. Do your thing, man. Nonstop Dre says, most people hate math and reading for personal knowledge because they're just lazy. No, that's by design. I keep telling you guys, this whole thing is conditioned. It's by design. That's why people are scared of taxes. That's by design. People are scared. Oh man, you better watch out. You might get audited. It's random. No, it's not. IRS audits are not random. They know why they're coming to see you. There are millions of people in the United States, and there's only few IRS auditors out here. You think they got time to check on somebody that's following the rules? Why would they waste their time on somebody that they already know that's following the rules? People in debt have a pattern. They don't know they have a pattern. That's why you're getting audited, because there's a pattern that you don't see that they do see. And no, there is no book for what I'm telling you. There is no book for it yet. NC Big says, if you like crazy debt stories, look up the life of Lou Pearlman. The story will get crazier as it goes on. Okay, I will look it up. And you got to remember, the majority of people in debt, they believe that it's taxes. Taxes are the very reason why they're in debt. Oh man, if these taxes wasn't so high, I wouldn't be in debt. That's not true. So this is what they do. They start to cheat on their taxes. Millions of people cheat on their taxes. Millions. They get IRS auditors get practice of the same old from people in debt, believing that taxes are the reason why they're in debt. So they get practice every day. They've heard every excuse of why you think you forgot, you didn't know. Oh, I didn't know I was supposed to claim that hidden account over there. I didn't know. Okay, yeah. All the slaves say the same thing. Yeah, everybody doesn't know they have a pattern. They don't even know it. They all think about money and taxes individually. They all believe that they believe they're doing something new. They're doing something different than anybody else. No, you're just a tax. You're just a slave trying to avoid taxes. Yes, you are. Day says, is that the guy who discovered all those boy bands of my youth? I don't know. Oh, talking to NC Biggs. Okay, got it. I gotta check that out. I don't know. Hyphy says, I want to work at a big chain restaurant for 3. I know we were talking about this. Let me see what Hyphy's talking about. I want to work at a big chain restaurant for 3 months. I'm going to record everything on hidden camera and then sue them for multiple workplace violations. We can settle out of court for interesting. Hey man, if they're breaking the rules, they're breaking the rules. Because they got cameras that can go in your glasses. They got cameras that you can pin on your shirt, look like a pin. Interesting. I like that idea. Ooh, man, I be coming up. You be coming up with some good stuff, Hyphy. Because just by the stories I'm telling you, they be doing people in debt so dirty right now. They be doing them dirty. They be doing them dirty. Because you think if my jobs plural did me the way they did, and I was a high paid slave with a college education, right? And they were and since I was salary, they were squeezing way more than my salary out of me, and I didn't even know it because I was in debt. For you IT people, man, I hope you guys are listening. You better not let them do that. Don't believe the people in debt believing that the salary is somehow more prestigious than the hourly worker. Don't fall for that stupid nonsense. That's a trap for sure. Nonstop Dre says, I used to teach myself math for fun when I was younger. Math was always fun for me because it requires me to think logically. Oh, I used to love math when I was a kid. Loved it. But then when it stopped in grade school, I used to get upset. I used to think, why did they stop? Because that's all I needed. And I didn't know that's all I needed. All I needed was the math I learned in grade school. Crazy, huh? What's up, Zoik? Nonstop Dre says, what was some of the hardest truth for you to accept? That's a good question, Nonstop Dre. I like that question, man. Very good question. It was a hard pill to swallow to know how easy it was to become a millionaire. Because when Gabriel came on, right, he said a valid point, because I thought the same thing he thought at 19. I thought you had to work hard and save and invest and do this. And, they make it seem like it's very difficult or some sort of secret. No. If somebody would have came up to me at 19 and said, hey, it's not really hard to become a millionaire. You want to know how to do it? Yeah. First, you got to learn how to count to 1 million, and you got to start with 0. And I would have said 0. Nobody starts with 0. Then somebody would have said, yeah, exactly. Right. Nobody starts with 0. That's my point. Now add up all your savings and add up all your debt. Savings minus debt equals the number you start from to count to 1 million. You start from the negative and then you get to 0. Then you start with 0, 1, 2, 3, and then you count to 1 million. You can't get to 1 million if you don't start with 0. I would have said, that's right. How come everybody else around me is not doing it? That person would have said, exactly. Now do everything the opposite of the majority when it comes to money, and you'll be rich. You don't need to own a business. You don't need to do that. Just have a regular job. But by the time you understand money, you will own a business. If somebody would have said to me like this, you know how the people in the debt matrix say, oh man, there's no way around taxes. I would say, yes, there is. The right way. People in debt don't know there's a right way around taxes. There's the correct way. Follow the rules. You follow the rules, create a successful business, and you'll never legally pay taxes again, ever. How is that? Oh, when taxes go up, you include those taxes into the price of your product, and guess what? You never pay taxes again. That's how you do it. Isn't that sound so simple? Because it is. You can't tell somebody in debt that, hey, man, I figured out a way to legally never pay taxes again. They will never understand you in a million years. All right, Ill Wills. He says, enjoy the rest of your day. SMD family, keep spinning the knowledge, making it out like fish grease, uh, making it out like fish grease out here on these YouTube streets, man. It will be killing me, man. You know we're gonna have to meet in person one day. You know that, Ill Wills, right? That was my hardest truth nonstop, because that was a tough pill to swallow. And the reason why, and I keep telling you guys, I know time doesn't matter, but again, had I known it at 19, that's neither here nor there, right? I'm just glad I know now, okay? But when you're young, you have time on your side, all right? If that's what you believe, but you don't know if you're going to make it to age 50. See what I'm saying? So try not to put time in there. But you asked me the question. Now I'm hindsight is 2020. I would have, if I was debt free, I wouldn't have had the marriages I had. I probably wouldn't have had children with anybody with a woman in debt. I wouldn't have had no children with a woman in debt. So that I would have saved myself a lot of money on pointless relationships, because it wouldn't have mattered how fine she was or how good the sex was. It wouldn't have mattered, because if she was in debt, that overrides everything. I don't care how good looking a woman is. If she's in debt, I don't want to be in debt. Nothing in the world trumps financial freedom and the time in my life. Nothing. I couldn't imagine being with somebody coming home every day complaining about their debt problems. No way, especially when I know it's their fault. You always see people complaining about debt, complaining about student loans in their brand new car and their brand new iPhone. It doesn't make any sense. Oh my God, I really hope they do something about this student loan debt. No, it's your fault. He says, hard truth for me was to accept was, no matter how much money came in, I'd never be at true peace. And I always have to look over my shoulder. Yes. Had to change up and play by the rules. Yeah. Growing up, I grew up in the projects in Seattle, and it was called Rainier Vista. Okay. It's tore down now. It doesn't exist, but let's just say there were easily many wrong turns I could have took in that life and living in the projects. Easy. There was a voice in my head that always talked to me, right? Now, when you're growing up, you're always taught to think that voice in your head, you're crazy if you're listening to a voice in your head. I didn't listen to anybody that told me that, because this voice used to always steer me right. Hey, man, you don't want to do that. My friends, here I am, early teens. I got these friends. Hey, man, it's a weekday. They're talking about, man, let's go downtown and hang around downtown. It's 8, 9 o'clock at night. They want to go hang around downtown, catch the bus down there and hang it. I used to go, for what? I got school tomorrow. Not going to school is not an option. My mom just said, well, I can't just say, hey, Mom, I'm not going to school today. That wasn't even an option. And I used to think, what are we going to do downtown at 9 o'clock at night as teenagers? Nothing but trouble. So I said, nah, I'm not doing that. So a lot of my friends, guess what? Prison. A lot of my friends went to prison. Drug selling, stealing, whatever. Doesn't matter. Now, am I saying I didn't make any mistakes? Not saying that at all. I'm just saying I used to always listen to the voice in my head. Hey, man, maybe you should not do that. Or maybe you should stop doing that. Maybe you should, because if you do that, you're going to go, you could possibly go to jail if you do that. You know what I'm saying? Just things, because you do a lot of stupid things when you're young, totally forgetting that you're not going to be young forever. Wrapped up in that money. The money's just a bait. Money's just a bait. It's just to say, hey, man, you want some of this money? Because you never quite get it. There's never enough. And looking over I know what Hyphy's saying. That looking over your shoulder, you guys, you don't really know how much energy that is, looking over your shoulder. That's a lot of energy. And you don't really notice it until you stop doing or get out of the thing that's causing you to do that. Once you get out of it, you'd be like, oh my God, I was looking over my shoulder yes, you were. And it was taking a ton of energy. Day says yes to the no marriage part. You know, and you're right, Day. Honestly, that would have being debt free. It would have saved me a lot of just boyfriend girlfriend relationship. Hell, forget marriage. It would have saved me a lot of time on personal relationships. It just been a waste of time. It would have been a total waste of time. When you get with somebody, if you're dating right now and you're listening to my channel, this is all you got to do. Just listen to the person that you're dating. See how they talk about money. Do they have to have a phone every year? Do they have to have a new phone every year? Do they have to have a new car every 3 years? They're trading in there. Oh man, I have to have the latest and greatest. So they don't even. It's like, put it this way: they make phones so high priced to where now, because people in debt, they don't know they're in debt, so they don't even know they can't afford to buy a phone cash. So they do the next best thing. They get a new phone every single year because the outside appearance makes them look like they have money, but in reality, they're stuck in the loop. They have no choice but to get a new phone every year. I mean, they do have a choice, but they're just choosing not to because of the outside appearance. And that's the same thing with cars. You guys have no idea how many people are trapped in the car loan loop. They can't afford, they're so deep in debt, they can't afford to even buy, let alone a bucket. You think they have money to buy a brand new car, but they don't want to look broke. So they keep trading in there. They keep refinancing new cars so they don't look broke to the outside world, not even realizing they're only fooling other people in the debt matrix. Us outside the debt matrix, we know you're broke. That's why you ever find only broke people finance cars. Only slaves were compete of who got the best master. When you have people fighting over leasing versus buying, they're fighting over who's the best master. Oh, my master says I only have 1.9 interest rate and I don't have to worry about the dings. Well, my master says I only have so many miles, but I got to do this and that and this and that. And they just fight over daily. They do this in the office all the time. Listen to them. Just listen to the slaves fight over whose master is better. It's the craziest thing to watch. I mean, pull up, get some popcorn, and just watch them fight. Oh man, my master said I get 0% interest rate for 72 months, and I have to put any money down. All the slaves, they just be like, man, my slave said 0% interest rate. Yeah. My master said I didn't have to put any money down for him. My master's so nice. He's so nice to me. Nonstop Dre says, if you had to leave a message to the world before you die, what would it be? I would say always make sure you look for the obvious. Always look for the obvious. Always. There's nothing on earth more valuable than time. Isn't that obvious? You can't buy none. You can't borrow some from your cousin. You're gonna die. It's just a matter of time. You're gonna die. So whenever you decide to sign up for a job and you say, cool, man, for an hour, my time is worth $15.95 an hour. Just remember, you're selling an invaluable thing for $15.95 an hour. That's what you're doing. I don't care if it was $100 an hour. You're saying, hey, the time of my life is worth $100 an hour. That's what you're saying. If you never forget that, and think about it this way, each time you finance something, you're selling the future time in your life. You're selling it. So if you sign up for a 5-year car loan, you're promising the future 5 years of your life because you must earn the money, because that money doesn't exist yet. How are you going to be able to get that money? You have to use the time in your life to earn it. So you're already selling it. It's not even here yet and you're selling it, because the only time that matters is now, and you're selling it. You already promised, like the money that you haven't even earned yet, you already promised it to the bank. So imagine when you sign up for a 30-year mortgage, a 5-year, 6-year, 7-year car loan. Hell, the car loans are going up to 20 years. And you're selling it? Never forget the time in your life is the most valuable thing on earth, and you'll make as much. And your goal should be this: Your goal should be owning the time in your life. If you own the time in your life, you have the time to make as much money as you wish. Never forget that. Gabriel says, when did you find your purpose? Once I became debt free. That's when I found my purpose. Now you're probably thinking, Linnell, how did you know it was your purpose? I'll tell you why. Because everything I'm saying I can prove. That's how I know it's my purpose. What I'm telling you guys right now is not hypothetical. It's not an opinion. It's not because I'm 50. It's not because I went to Harvard. No, I'm just using mathematics. So everything I'm saying to you, I can prove to be true. How do I know it's my purpose? I know it's a whole different language. I feel like, I swear to God, you guys, I feel like I'm Neo walking around the debt matrix. It's like the early example I gave to you guys. This is what I feel like when somebody in debt asks me a question. I already know the answer to that question before they finish saying it. People always ask me, "Hey man, should I pay off my student loans or invest?" By that question alone, they don't even know. You can't. If you're in debt, if you have student loans, you're in debt. If you're in debt, you have no money to invest. Why are you even asking that question? See what I'm saying? But they don't know that. You can't say to a person in debt, "Hey man, that's mathematically impossible. You can't invest. You can't invest instead of paying off your student loans." That means you have no money to invest in anything. That's mathematically impossible to invest or compound negative dollars into anything. This is what I love about my gift. I feel like I'm Neo. Trust me, I was walking around back in the day, calling myself a homeowner while I had a mortgage. I was doing the same thing. If somebody would have said, "Hey, Linnell, if you just do the math, you know you're not a homeowner, right?" And I would have been like, "Oh, yeah, then why am I calling myself a homeowner?" Exactly. Hey, Linnell, you do know it's not smart to go to college for 4 years and keep your student loan for 10? That doesn't make any kind of sense in the world. There is no mathematical equation in the entire world that will make that make sense. Do you know that, Linnell? I would have said, "Ooh, wow, you're right." Because they always say, "Hey man, don't pay off your student loans once you invest." Nobody ever stops and say, "Hey, by the way, how long have you had your student loans, by the way?" Yeah, there is no investment in the world that's going to make up for that. I suggest you pay that off. You can anyway. You're in debt, but I'm just telling you the real. Nonstop Dre says marriage is just a business contract between two people and the government. Older people, especially women, get mad when I tell them that. Yeah, it is. It is. It's just business. But you know what? I mean, I personally don't look at it that way now. I just like, if you ain't even on the same financial page as me, marriage is totally out of the question. I'm not even entertaining that. You know, if you get with somebody and say like you get with somebody and they have potential of getting out of debt, and you get with them and you're a year with them, and then all of a sudden they just, people start to get comfortable, and then they fall back on their old ways and they start getting back in debt. A woman or man be thinking, "Oh, okay, I got this person. I done laid it down on them. They're in love. We won't talk about that anymore." And then they start bringing up the marriage. I'll be like, "Hey, didn't I tell you that you got to get out of debt first?" That doesn't change. It'll never change. Either you're going to believe me or you're going to leave me. But that's not going to change. They says also what people don't realize about marriage is that the state laws govern your marriage in the event of divorce. Otherwise, get your own prenup or be subject to state laws. Yeah, I'm not getting myself involved in any of that. I'm not handing my rights over. You can have all the same legal rights as a married couple. All you got to do is just write it up. Hey, if I die, my girlfriend gets all this stuff. She can have that. This is what you just make sure it's all legal. You don't need to be married. You don't need anybody. You don't need the state or the government governing your stuff. You just lay it out in the beginning. You get with somebody that you truly trust and love, and you guys are on the same page. You just go to a lawyer and say, "Hey, lawyer, I want to make sure my husband or wife gets everything when I die." That's it. And make sure it's make sure you just hire a high paid lawyer that knows his stuff. I mean, not a high paid, but a very good lawyer that's worth the money that they're asking. That's it. You say, "Hey, man, this is what I want. Can you do it?" "Yeah, okay, that's what I want." Nonstop Dre says, "Have you ever watched Coach Greg Adams' content before? If so, your thoughts?" Never. Nope, don't know him either. Hey, do me a favor, Nonstop Dre, because you've been throwing out some names. Can you do me a favor? Can you email me those names? Because I really do want to research those people. Tay says, "Marriage becomes business during a divorce." It sure does. Oof, that ain't nothing nice. So it's always business. The journey I'm on now no longer allows for financial abuse, and that is a whole other topic. Oh yes. Can you imagine being with somebody? This is what I fear for people. I fear for people that are couples and one wakes up and the other one doesn't. You're going to get a divorce, I promise you, because if you're getting debt free and your partner is still spending money, or or if you become debt free and your partner says, "Oh, okay, since you're debt free, we can spend money in your name," or whatever they come up with, you're going to be in some serious trouble. And then imagine this: you get a divorce. Guess what? You guys were married. So now you're going to have those debts split down the middle, because in the court's eyes, if you ain't got any debt and your partner still has debt, guess what? You were married. You're going to be paying for their debt. Good luck. Nonstop Dre says, "What was the biggest lie you were ever told? And when did you realize it was the truth?" Credit. And and when I say, let me make sure I say that right. Credit is not a lie, it's a tool. But people lied to me to make it, they made me believe it was a need. It seemed like since birth, credit was shoved down my throat. And when I was your age, Nonstop Dre, I knew something was wrong, man. I knew something was wrong. I knew it. I remember being in my 20s and I knew something was freaking wrong, but I couldn't ask nobody because I didn't even know the question to ask. I was like, man, something doesn't make sense. "Oh no, man, you know you need credit, man. You want to ever get a house." This is what everybody in debt says. "Hey, if you ever want a house, man, you know you got to build up your credit, man. You got to do this, man, because they're never going to approve you for a house." I was like, yeah, I hear what you're saying, but something doesn't make sense. I have all this debt, and I remember I got my first house and I thought I was supposed to feel this certain type of feeling of being a home ownership. This is what everybody around me, and this is what TV said. TV said, "Hey man, you're supposed to feel this certain way when you get this house." But I didn't feel that way. I was like, "Ooh, this just feels like more responsibility, and for longer time of period. I can't just get up and leave. At least when I rent an apartment, I can just, hey, manager or landlord, I'm not going to renew my lease and I'm leaving," and I just leave. Anything break down in the house, I just call my landlord and he come and fix it. But somehow I got a house and everything's my responsibility now, and I'm supposed to feel better about that. I just couldn't put my finger on it. Had I knew it was credit, credit is the illusion of ownership. It is nothing more than a tool. Remember, everything I'm telling you I can prove. And I tell you, if you guys have a house right now and you're on the fence of paying it off, everybody around you is saying, "Hey man, don't pay off your house." I want you to stop. And anybody that tells you not to pay off your house, I want you to stop and ask them, "Hey, do you have a mortgage?" And if they say yes, that's why they're telling you to keep your mortgage, because they have one. That's why they're saying it. People with no mortgages, they don't tell you to keep a mortgage. They'll say, "Hey, yeah, man, pay your house off." Why? Because there are millions of people that believe they're homeowners, and you truly are one. That's how I know. That's the right move. That's how you know. That's how you know it's the right move. Because there are millions of people with mortgages, trillions of dollars. That's how you know. Pay your house off. Don't be one of these slaves being happy to write off the interest on a house loan or a mortgage loan. That's the dumbest, stupidest, idiotic thing to ever say out loud. Don't ever say that out loud. Nonstop Dre says, by the way, Neo wasn't the one. Agent Smith was actually the one. Look up the film theorists and watch their video on the Matrix. I was shocked to find this. What? Agent Smith was the actual one? Agent Smith was trying to keep Neo from waking up people. What do you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by that, Nonstop. I'm not calling you wrong, but I don't understand what you mean. Agent Smith was trying to I look at Agent Smith like when people say, "Hey, I heard if I pay off my credit card and close it, my credit score go down, so I'm not going to do it." That's Agent Smith telling them, "Hey, don't do that. Your credit score is going to go down." So people in the debt matrix don't. Thanks, I appreciate it, Nonstop. Our Carp says not to Nonstop Dre. Coach Greg Adams puts out powerful information about marriage. You know, I always say like this, now that I'm out of the debt matrix, they always say money is the number one cause of divorce. No, it's not. It's debt. I've never once heard somebody, hey, my wife left me because I kept overstuffing her bank account with money. Every time she left, she got mad because money kept falling out of her purse. She said, "Hey, honey, if you don't stop overfilling my purse with money, I'm going to divorce you." I've never heard that in my life. It can't be money. It's debt. All right, you guys, we're about 3 hours, 30 minutes in. I'm going to cut this off at 4 hours. I do appreciate you guys all, man. This is how, earlier you asked, how do I know this is my passion? Because I can sit here and talk for 3.5 hours and it feels like 10 minutes. You would never talk about something that you don't love for 3 hours. Never. All right, we got 4. I'm gonna cut, like I said, I'm gonna cut this off in 4 minutes. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to ask within that time frame. Please don't forget to hit that like button. Please don't forget to share. Free 30-minute consultation at SavingsMinusDebt.com. Please don't forget to select your time zone when selecting the time that you would like to speak. And again, I have different services that I offer. Maybe you just want to call and talk to me about what you need to do on your personal finances. Maybe you don't want me up in your business, but you want me to tell you some information on what you should do about your personal finances. I have several clients that do that. Just call and say, "Hey, man, I need to know some information about this and that. What should I do?" And I tell them. All mathematically true. Okay. Any other questions? If not, I want to say thank you for today. Nonstop, Gabriel, R. Carp, Ill Wills, NC Biggs, Nicer. All you guys, man, the SMD family, and those of you that remain quiet, I see you. I see you out there. I see you. I know you're watching. It's okay. I know, believe it or not, there are more people that watch and say nothing compared to the people that say something. Hyphy, Cosmic, of course. See you guys all later. I'm not sure if I'm going to be coming on Monday. I'm not sure. But if I feel it, I'll be jumping on for sure. I got to get on some other things that I need to get on. It's like, before I go, I'm going to say this. One thing about I say to you guys all this: when you find your passion, you will clearly see that time is an illusion. So passion and the stuff doesn't come to me based on time. You know, I do stuff when I feel it. When it comes to me, that's when I do it. I don't like time restrictions. It bugs me. You know, I mean, not compared to appointments. Just like, hey, somebody scheduled me an appointment at 3:30. Okay, cool. I'm gonna be. But I'm talking about things that help me produce content. It's not. I don't allow time to restrict it. See what I'm saying? All right. Have a good one. Thank you, Day. Much appreciated. You too. But I am gonna look that up, nonstop, Dre. I gotta look that up. I thought agents. Because I could have swore. What's the name called? Neil is the one. So I don't know. Maybe I'm reading the story wrong. I don't know. But anyway, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Rest of your day. Enjoy that. Thank you for everybody jumping on, especially Gabriel. Yeah, I saw that he wanted to do. Okay, so I'll shoot that. It sounded like he wanted to connect with you, so I'll do that. I'll shoot you Shell's email, and I'll CC him on in that too. Okay, and so you guys can connect. Man, that was awesome. That was awesome. All right, cool. I will do that right after we get off here. Day, you know what, Day? I've been going back. I used to have a DVD. I used to have a DVD copy of the original or the Matrix. Now I need to go back and watch it. I'm sure I can find it online. It's not a big deal. Find it online. But yeah, now you got to go back and watch it because I remember watching it back then, Day. I used to think, what if that was real? Right? I used to think, what if that was real? Now I know it is real. But you know what was throwing me off? Movies. Okay, say like this. Somebody that wrote The Matrix tried their best to put it in words, right? Imagine you trying to write what you see now as a debt-free person, right? So that was the best way they could do it. So if you're watching a movie and you don't really know the debt matrix exists, you're going to imagine that the Matrix must look like the movie, but that's just movies, right? They can't really put out there what's really is and describe it to a T. They can't do that, right? So I was thinking about that. I was like, yeah, the Matrix is real. But the one thing that was throwing me off from seeing it was believing that it was going to look like the movies, right? And which was that I could have just immediately thought to myself, wait a minute, that's a movie. You know, that can't be true. It's got to be in a different way. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful day. It's 3 hours, 31 minutes. I'm out. Appreciate you guys, SMD family. Much love, everybody. Until next time. All right. Bye-bye.